Chapter 30-31. However, he didn't expect Qin Yin to do so many things just to rest. Not only did he save Ba Hao's parents, he also tortured Wang Mingtai to death and earned a very precious divine universe crystal fruit. No, Wang Mingtai came from afar. If he just goes back like this, he will definitely not be reconciled. He is a guest. We can't let our guest go back so unreconciled. Qin Yin said with smile. Master, don't you think so? Xiao Yuelon and others who were familiar with Qin Yin, seeing his smile, they knew that Wang Mingtai is going to be unlucky. Li Qinqin hastily pulled Qin Yin over. Little Qin, that turtle egg Wang Mingtai just knelt down and begged you. He's in so much pain that he's rolling around like a tortoise. But in any case, he's at the 9th level of the divine space realm. Don't fight with him. Your body is so thin, it's very easy to get hurt. Slut, what did you say? Wang Mingtai is furious. Auntie, I can save him just now. That means I can deal with him, it's fine. Qin Yun said with faint smile. Qin Yun, the poisonous insect has already been taken out by you. The poisonous insect was killed by the pill I ate. The insect egg in your hand needs a very long time to hatch. I want to see how you deal with me. Wang Mingtai believes that he will not be tricked by Qin Yun again. He does not have any flaws. Little Qin, do I look very old? Don't call me Annie. It makes me sound old. Li Qinqin said with smile. Sisterly, you just watch from the side. Qin Yun said with smile. Li Qinqin came from the blue universe. Although she has blue skin, her appearance is also not bad in the blue universe. Qin Yun, a 3rd-level divine space realm cultivator, actually wants to fight with 9th-level divine space realm Wang Mingtai. Everyone present thinks that Qin Yun is crazy. Even if Wang Mingtai is trash, after being ravaged by the poisonous bug just now, he is not someone a 3rd-level divine space realm cultivator can defeat. Qin Yun is very confident in defeating Wang Mingtai. It is just that the few big shots around him are very concerned about him and do not want him to take risks. Master, I have my own way. Qin Yun secretly transmitted his voice to Xiao Qihong. You help me take care of those few seniors. I must eliminate Wang Mingtai. Xiao Qihong is very surprised. Qin Yun is so confident. It means that he really has a way. Then what method do you want to use? Xiao Qihong asked. I can't explain it in a few words. You'll understand in a moment. Please believe me. Qin Yun said with voice transmission. In short, I can't defeat him with my strength. But you saw just now. I tricked this idiot into giving me a divine universe crystal fruit. He is not my match at all. This is too risky, Xiao Qihong said. Wang Mingtai's entire body is made of divine universe heavenly bone. Although it hasn't been strengthened yet, that divine universe heavenly bone still makes me envious. Qin Yun could see that all of Wang Mingtai's divine universe heavenly bone was indeed formidable. But so what? Wasn't Wang Mingtai kneeling on the ground and begging for mercy just now? Don't be afraid. He knelt before me just now. Later, I won't even have the chance to make him kneel. Qin Yun said again. All right. Xiao Qihong can only believe Qin Yun. This divine king called him his disciple. He never understood this disciple, but he knew that this disciple is very capable. Xiao Qihong secretly contacted the few seniors and told them that he had given Qin Yun a set of Yu family heavenly talismans to make them feel at ease. Only with this, the few seniors felt relieved. Otherwise, they would definitely continue to protect Qin Yun. After the heaven-splitting ancient clan seniors left, the Ba couple still refused to leave. In the end, they were persuaded by Xiao Qihong to leave. And the spectators around the island were boiling with excitement. Qin Yun, a 3rd-level divine universe realm, actually wanted to challenge a 9th-level divine universe realm expert. The seniors of the heaven-splitting ancient clan, as well as other Outerverse people, all knew that Wang Mingtai's entire body was made of divine universe heavenly bone. This was much stronger than the 9th-level divine universe realm experts of the heaven-splitting ancient clan. They couldn't figure out how Qin Yun could defeat Wang Mingtai. The poisonous insect that Qin Yun controlled had already died. This was what everyone had seen with their own eyes. Even if the poisonous insect resurrected, with Wang Mingtai's strength, as long as he was a bit more cautious, it would be impossible for him to suffer a loss again. However, they also felt that Qin Yun wouldn't do such a stupid thing. Qin Yun, a third-level Divine Universe realm expert, had just tricked Wang Mingtai into kneeling and begging for mercy. He was definitely not a person who would do such a stupid thing. Gao Linxing also couldn't say anything. After all, the outcome of this battle didn't affect him at all. Wang Mingtai's death was something he brought upon himself. In the hands of a third-level Divine Universe realm expert, who could he blame? After Grandma Hong flew back, she said to Xiao Yuelon in a low voice, "Little girl, control your man, otherwise you will become a widow in the future." "Grandma, little husband will definitely win," Xiao Yuelon said with a smile. "AI, not only did you not strictly discipline him, you even indulged him. No wonder he always courted death." Grandma Xiao Hong was speechless. "Grandma, brother never does anything he's not confident in. We just need to watch. It's not that I want to say this, but even Grandma, you can't kill that turtle egg Wang Mingtai, right? But my brother can." Xiao Yueme hugged Grandma Xiao Hong's arm and said with a charming smile, "No wonder Qin Yun always does such crazy things. Not only do you girls not care, you even go crazy with him." "No wonder." Xiao Hong shook her head and sighed. The island was a battlefield. The people on it had already been evacuated. Only Qin Yun and Wang Mingtai remained. Wang Mingtai was still somewhat worried, so he used a very beautiful blue longsword. Qin Yun also took out the myriad heaven divine saber. His expression is relaxed. He is not the least bit afraid of Wang Mingtai. Wang Mingtai suffered humiliation before and even lost a divine space crystal fruit. Now, facing Qin Yun, he wished he could eat Qin Yun alive. "You are truly an arrogant idiot. You think you can trick me a second time just because you tricked me once? Don't think that I am too stupid," Wang Mingtai said with sneer. "I never thought that you were stupid because you have always been this stupid. You don't even need to think about it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have kowtowed and begged Master Qin to spare your life." Qin Yun said with smile. "Little bastard, die." Ming Tai roared, and the divine cosmos force on his body surged out. The entire island trembled, and the lake beside the island immediately surged with waves. This is the power of the 9th level of the divine space realm. Qin Yun felt it and secretly felt fear in his heart. However, the fear quickly disappeared, and his face is still filled with a calm smile. The battle began. After Wang Mingtai displayed the power of the 9th level of the divine space realm, he held his sword and rushed toward Qin Yun. However, just after taking 2 steps, his whole body suddenly froze, and a look of pain appeared on his face. At this time, Qin Yun already rushed over. He waved the myriad heaven divine space saber, leaving behind a black saber image in the air. Wang Mingtai's head was cut off. After Wang Mingtai's head fell to the ground, Qin Yun waved his saber several times, cutting Wang Mingtai's body into 8 pieces. Complete after Wang Mingtai's divine space, heavenly bone was cut open. His body also shined with golden light. Qin Yun released a flame and enveloped the pieces of Wang Mingtai's body. Then, he quietly put away Wang Mingtai's body. Inside were all divine space, heavenly bones. If he sold them, he would be rich. Chapter 3032. A complete copy update the latest chapter of the 9 Suns Divine King as soon as possible. The island in the middle of the lake used for battle was engulfed in flames. After Qin Yun cut Wang Mingtai into 8 pieces, the flames suddenly appeared, causing everyone to be unable to see what happened on the island. Qin Yun took away Wang Mingtai's corpse and did not extinguish the flames. Instead, he allowed the flames to continue burning, making people feel that the flames are very strong. "Is Wang Mingtai really dead?" a young man from the Blue Universe exclaimed. Gao Linxing shook his head and said, "His body has been split into several pieces, and now he is being burned by the flames. Even if he is not dead, it will be very difficult for him to cultivate again after losing such a powerful body. Most of their divine, universe, heavenly bones were innately born with them. There were few that had been cultivated afterwards. Once the fleshly body was destroyed, One would need to reconstruct it and then cultivate a divine universe heavenly bone. This was extremely difficult. What happened just now? Wang Mingtai is at the 9th level of the divine space realm. How could he be killed by someone at the 3rd level of the divine space realm? What's with Qin Yun's saber? Cutting through divine universe heaven bone is as easy as chopping vegetables. For better or worse, Wang Mingtai has a decent divine universe heavenly bone. Wanting to break his heavenly bone so easily will be difficult. The seniors outside all had many questions. The biggest question was, why did Wang Mingtai suddenly lose his combat strength? Then there was Qin Yun's saber. Only Qin Yun knew this best. Wang Mingtai's 2 spiritual and 2 physical souls were still in Qin Yun's hands. Qin Yun had used these 2 spiritual and 2 physical souls to instantly make Wang Mingtai lose his combat strength. In an instant, he crazily tortured Wang Mingtai's 2 spiritual and 2 physical souls. Wang Mingtai was unable to continue fighting. As for the Myriad Heaven's divine saber, it had the bloodline heavenly pattern box attached to it, so it wouldn't be difficult for it to break the divine universe bone. Wang Mingtai did not know that his 2 souls and 2 spirits were in Qin Yun's hands. He originally thought that after the 2 poisonous insects were poisoned to death, his 2 souls and 2 spirits would dissipate. He was also unable to sense his 2 souls and 2 spirits. Wang Mingtai had still underestimated Qin Yun's control over the soul. Qin Yun's superb soul refining technique was something that even many of the older generations in the 8th or 9th tier of the divine space realm might not be able to understand. The flames on the island gradually extinguished, and Wang Mingtai disappeared. Burned to ashes? This was impossible. It was extremely difficult to burn a divine universe heavenly bone to ash, much less in such a short period of time. Wang Mingtai's corpse had disappeared. There was only one possibility. It had been taken away by Qin Yun. No matter which universe it was, a divine universe heavenly bone was extremely valuable. Even if Wang Mingtai died, his divine universe heavenly bone could still be taken out and sold for a great deal of divine universe metal. Everyone immediately understood why Qin Yun wanted to fight Wang Mingtai to the death. The main reason was because he wanted to obtain the divine universe heavenly bone in Wang Mingtai's body. So ruthless, so sinister. Qin Yun said with a sigh, "Why make me your enemy? After all, I'm the godly king of the divine wilderness. I'm protected by the divine sun of the myriad realms, and I have the power of the divine sun of the myriad realms." Just a moment ago, these people from the outer universe learned that Qin Yun is the divine king of divine desolate, a human raised by divine desolate's 9 yang dharma spirit. Of course, the people of the outer universe had no concept of a divine king. They only knew that this divine king would receive help from the 9 yang dharma spirit on his path of growth. Even if he had the help of the 9 yang dharma spirit, it was still impossible for a 3rd-layer divine universe realm cultivation to defeat a 9th-layer divine universe realm martial artist. This went against all common sense. "Qin Yun, where is Wang Mingtai's corpse?" a person from the blue cosmos asked. "It has been burned away." Qin Yun said, "The flame I released is very strong. It is the myriad realms divine, sun's annihilation heavenly flame. It can destroy everything." "Impossible. How can a divine universe heavenly bone be burned away so easily?" The person from the blue cosmos was not willing to let Wang Mingtai's corpse be taken away. It was a great fortune. "I'm sorry, I can only use that flame once every 10 years. 10 years from now, I will use it again to prove it to you," Qin Yun very earnestly said. "How did you defeat Wang Mingtai?" Gao Linxing asked. "With your cultivation, it is impossible for you to defeat him. To tell you the truth, I attacked his soul just now, causing him pain, and then chopped him to death with my saber." Qin Yun said, "Is there any problem?" Attacking Wang Mingtai's soul? Everyone suddenly recalled how Qin Yun burned the golden poisonous bug and tortured Wang Mingtai to the point that he knelt down and begged for mercy. They all took a deep breath. Qin Yun really used a dirty trick to win. If this is really the case, then with a very strong saber, he can indeed defeat Wang Mingtai. Wang Mingtai's death would definitely infuriate his father, but Gao Linqing was not afraid because this had nothing to do with him. Wang Mingtai had courted death. Even if Wang Mingtai's father wanted to pursue the matter, he would find Qin Yun or the heaven-splitting ancient clan. Qin Yun defeated Wang Mingtai, who is at the 9th level of the divine universe realm. This unimaginable battle caused the scene to sink into a very strange atmosphere. "Grandma, did you see that? Xiao Yin won." Xiao Yuelan is very proud, she said with a charming smile. "He won. Moreover, it is a complete victory. Brother is really awesome. That scoundrel is finally dead. I knew that brother would not let him go back alive." Xiao Yuemei is incomparably happy in her heart. Although the Ba couple and their family are comfortable, they're still very worried about Qin Yun because he has offended a viscount of the Great Blue Empire. Wang Mingtai's father still has some ability, but they thought that if the Great Blue Empire wants to behave atrociously in this universe, it will not be easy. Because from the outer verse to the ancient garden city, only people at the 9th level of the divine universe realm are allowed to enter. If they exceed this cultivation level, they will be restricted by the passage. Cough, cough. I still have 3 more battles, right? Qin Yun suddenly said. After he said this, everyone remembered that Qin Yun was originally going to fight against 3 4th level divine universe realm experts from the outer verse. Qin Yun previously defeated 2 4th level divine universe realm youths from the blue universe. He still has 3 more battles. Ba Hao's strength is not weak, but he still lost to Qin Yun. Even Wang Mingtai, who is at the 9th level of the divine universe realm, was killed by Qin Yun. The outerverse people who are going to fight Qin Yun are also shivering. Even Wang Mingtai has been killed. What is there to fight? We admit defeat, Gao Linqing shouted. If they send people to fight Qin Yun, they will only be humiliating themselves. Victory. Divine Desolate won 1 battle, and it was Qin Yun who turned the tide. Otherwise, they would have lost very unsightly. It must be known that before, it was an outerverse person who fought against the Heaven Opening Clan's 5-man team. But now, the outerverse person did not even fight and directly admitted defeat to Qin Yun. This battle can be considered the Heaven Opening Clan's victory. The previous battle between the 2nd level Divine Universe Realm and the 2nd level Divine Universe Realm was won by the outerverse side. Now it is 1-1. Next is the battle between the Heaven Opening Clan's 6th level Divine Universe Realm and the outerverse 6th level Divine Universe Realm. As long as the Heaven Opening Clan can win this battle, they will have defeated the outerverse. If they defeat the outerverse, they will not be looked down upon. Otherwise, they will always say that the Heaven Opening Clan is very weak and use this as an excuse to not teach them cultivation methods. Chapter 3033. Complete version, the latest chapter of 9 Sun Divine King. The 6th level Divine Space Realm experts of the Heaven Opening Clan are quite strong as a whole, because most of them have finished refining the Divine Universe Golden Tendons, but have not cultivated the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone. Of course, the outerverse definitely has the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone. Moreover, they also cultivate the Soul Divine Universe and have not weak mental power. In terms of Divine Universe Heavenly Bone and mental power, the Heaven Opening Clan is definitely inferior. The advantage of the Heaven Opening Clan is that they have a total of 8 battle teams, while the outerverse only has 1. They can fight a war of attrition and win a chance for the other battle teams to win. Xiao Yuelan and Xiao Yuemei are in the Xiao Ancient Clan battle team, while Yu Shangyun is in the Heavenly Moon Ancient Clan battle team. Qin Yun is also quite worried about them. He only hopes that they will not risk their lives later. Qin Yun floated beside Xiao Qihong and watched the battle. At this moment, it is the Beast Blood Ancient Clan's battle team. Master, I remember that those guys from the Blue Cosmos said that they would reward me. You also said that you would reward me. Qin Yun asked in a low voice. We won't miss out on your reward. As for the Blue Cosmos, don't even think about it. Xiao Qihong shook his head and smiled. Qin Yun earned a lot from Wang Mingtai. Not only did he receive the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone, he also obtained a Divine Universe Crystal Fruit. It is already very profitable, and he still wants the blue cosmos reward. Master, do you think our chances of winning this round are high? Qinyan asked. Very high. I said before that we can use weapons and defensive tools as well as heavenly talismans. This time, I spent a lot of money and gave out many heavenly talismans. Xiao Qihong said. Qinyan curled his lips and said, Master, you are so biased. Why didn't you give us this round's battle team, but the 6th level Divine Space Realm battle team? Xiao Qihong said with smile, because your divine universe power can't unleash the power of heavenly talismans. My heavenly talismans require very high divine universe power to unleash. I don't believe you. Qinyan giggled and said, Give me a few to try. I guarantee that I can use them for you to see. I don't have any in my hands. I gave them all to them. Xiao Qihong said with smile. Qinyan felt a lot more at ease. Xiao Yuelon and Yu Shangyun must have obtained the Yu clan heavenly talisman from Xiao Qihong. As long as they won this round, the heaven-splitting ancient clan would regain their dignity. At the very least, lowly life forms like them had not lost terribly against the outerverse upper-middle life forms. In fact, they had even won by a small margin. At first, the outerverse side had arrogantly declared that they would take on 5 people at once, while the ancient Beast Blood clan had only sent 1 person. This made the people from the outerverse very unhappy, as they had even said that Lu Yin would be able to kill that ancient Beast Bloodline man in a single move. The people from the outside are only at the 6th level of the Divine Space realm, but they already have Divine Space heavenly bones in their bodies, and their mental force is still over 100. The scariest thing is that it's all natural. We were born with such conditions, but even if we work ourselves to death, it would still be difficult for us to cultivate it. The disparity is too great. They were born with a divine universe heavenly bone, so they can save a lot of divine universe metals. The people of the heaven-splitting ancient clan were all envious. An older generation said, Our descendants will also be able to do so in the future. That's why we have to fight now. We have to strive to break through the level limit. After hearing this, everyone looked forward to that day. Although they didn't catch up, it was enough for their descendants to catch up. The battle began. That person from the outside lazily stood there, and the ancient beast bloodline man also didn't move. I thought you would come and die. The person from the outside yawned and said, So boring. If only one of you was as powerful as Qinyan, it would be more interesting. The person from the outside leisurely walked towards the ancient beast bloodline man and punched him in the chest. Boom! After this punch, the person from the outside's body suddenly trembled and his expression changed. The power he just punched was inexplicably transformed and landed on his body. He hit himself. Qinyan is slightly startled and said in a low voice, Is this the Imperial Heavenly Talisman? Xiao Qihong smiled, but didn't say anything. The person from the outside doesn't understand what's going on. He thought that the man's body has a special barrier that can reflect power, so he condensed even more power. This time, the power of the person from the outside is even stronger. After it landed on the man's body, he was once again hit by the ferocious power and directly vomited blood. The man also thunderously counterattacked, using all the power in his body to beat the opponent until he didn't know which way was north. Victory! The people from the heaven-opening ancient clan cheered. The people from the outer universe were all frowning. They knew that he must have used talismans, but they didn't expect them to be so powerful. There were still 4 more battles, and every one of them was won by the ancient beast bloodline clan. Although the people from the outside were very strong, they still lost. They didn't lose to the warriors of the ancient beast bloodline clan, but to Xiao Qihong's imperial heavenly talismans. At this moment, the youths of the heaven-opening ancient clan understood Xiao Qihong's position even more clearly. Xiao Qihong only gave them some imperial heavenly talismans, and they easily won. Qinyan finally understood why Xiao Qihong was able to obtain the respect of the outerverse. It was because his imperial heavenly talismans were very powerful. It's no wonder that when the ancient Yu clan wandered the outerverse, the other heaven-opening ancient clans didn't dare to look down on them, and even obtained the favor of the other heaven-opening ancient clans. It's all because Shao Qihong could make powerful imperial heavenly talismans. Unfortunately, at present, only Shao Qihong could make powerful imperial heavenly talismans. That's why the inheritor of the imperial heavenly talismans is very important to the ancient Yu clan. Even if they aren't from a Yu family, they are still willing to learn as long as they can obtain Shao Qihong's approval. Qin Yun is the divine king of the divine desolate. Furthermore, he is very concerned about the divine desolate. Therefore, his character has already obtained Shao Qihong's approval. This time, we won through unfair means. We used powerful heavenly talismans. An elder of the heaven-opening ancient clan said to the people from the outside, "But at least this can show our strength. We are not as weak as everyone thinks." The people from the outside naturally know that these heavenly talismans are very powerful. They just don't know how many the heaven-opening ancient clan has. If they had a large number, it would indeed be very terrifying. As for the exchange of cultivation techniques, we will arrange it well. The Nine-Yang Dharma Spirit also said that we will impart cultivation techniques to you. We will definitely fulfill our promise. There is one thing I hope you can remember. The upper echelons of your cosmos are very powerful. If they cause trouble for you, we will not help you. Even if you are destroyed, we will not help you because it will cause a conflict between the cosmos. We do not wish for such a conflict to occur. The leaders of the diplomatic missions from the outside expressed their stance one after another. The upper echelons of the divine desolate's cosmos were actually able to make these three people from the outerverse fear them. This made the heaven-opening ancient clan very surprised. Chapter 30-34. The heaven-splitting ancient clan still had no idea about the strength of this universe's upper echelons. They only knew that they were very strong. In the eyes of the heaven-splitting ancient clan, the upper echelons of this universe should be about the same as the upper echelons of the outerverse, maybe even weaker. They never expected that the upper echelons of the outerverse would still be wary of the upper echelons of this universe. This meant that the upper echelons of each universe would not have too big of a difference in strength, or at least they would not be able to crush each other. The outerverse people in the ancient garden were all trash. As long as they did not surpass the divine space realm, they were trash. The Nine-Yang Dharma Spirit only allowed divine space realm cultivators to enter, so Gao Linqing and the others had the chance to show off. Although the three outerverses had lost, the heaven-splitting ancient clan was not happy. The outerverse had lost mainly to Heavenly Talisman, and also because they had very few battle squads. But no matter what, the heaven-splitting ancient clan's display of strength made the other three universes not dare to look down on them anymore. Otherwise, they would appear very half-hearted when teaching cultivation techniques. After the battle ended, everyone dispersed and left the small space created for battle. Everyone was still in the ancient garden city. Qin Yun is currently in the city lord's mansion, drinking tea in a small hall with Yu Li Fan and Shao Qihong. These two are big shots of the heaven-splitting ancient clan. Although the heaven-splitting ancient clan won this time, they are not very happy. Instead, they have a lot on their minds. Little Qin, what reward do you want? You have done a great service this time. Shao Qihong asked. What about Ba Hao and his family? Qin Yin did not mention the reward. He was more concerned about them. They are still in the city and are currently discussing with the city lord. It seems like they want to stay in God Desolate. Although Wang Mingtai is dead, they still offended him. If they return to the Great Blue Empire, they will definitely be retaliated. Shao Qihong said, it's not bad for them to stay in God Desolate. Qin Yin wanted to rope in Ba Hao and his family. Although Ba Hao and his family were trash in the Great Blue Empire, they were not in God Desolate. In particular, Ba Tain, who had cultivated a large number of divine universe heavenly bones at the 9th level of the divine universe realm, could be considered a peak existence in the divine wilderness. Little Qin, what reward do you want? It wasn't given to you by the ancient Yu clan, it was given to you by our entire heaven-splitting ancient clan. Yu Li Fan said with a smile, just don't go too far. Qin Yin thought about it and felt a little embarrassed to speak. He asked, I need a large amount of divine universe gold stones. How much can you give me at most? 200 billion, Xiao Qihong said. How about 300 billion? Said Qin Yun with a smile. If he could obtain this 300 billion and then sell off Wang Mingtai's divine universe heavenly bone, he would be able to gather even more divine universe gold stones. In addition to the tens of billions he had, he would be able to tide through the upcoming great change. Xiao Qihong and Yu Lifan looked at each other and nodded. 300 billion was nothing to the heaven-splitting ancient clan. The ancient Heaven Creator clan controlled many divine universe metal mines in the divine wilderness and the Nine Sun sacred ground. It's not a problem to give you 300 billion, but you have to use it well and protect yourself, Xiao Qihong exhorted. I know, Qin Yun nodded. Soon after, Xiao Qihong and Yu Lifan called over a dozen seniors and gave 300 billion divine universe goldstones to Qin Yun. Seniors, I have something to sell. I don't know if you are interested. Qin Yun suddenly called out to the group of seniors. Those seniors' eyes lit up. They all know that Qin Yun has divine universe crystal fruits, but they don't think that Qin Yun will sell them. After all, there is no market for them. Then it is very likely that Qin Yun will sell the divine universe heavenly bone from Wang Mingtai. Although it is a human's divine universe heavenly bone, as long as it is a divine universe heavenly bone, it is the same as a beast's. As you all know, I entered the Nine Sun sacred ground some time ago and helped transport a huge piece of divine universe black gold. Before that, I was besieged by a large number of beastmen. I borrowed the power of the myriad realms' divine sun to exterminate a large number of beastmen and obtain a large number of divine universe heavenly bones. Now I want to sell them, Qin Yun said. All the seniors present had heard of this matter. Yes, Qin Yun wanted to sell the divine universe heavenly bone, but he couldn't openly say that he was selling it to Wang Mingtai. Thus, he had to find a legitimate source for the divine universe heavenly bone he wanted to sell. These seniors were all wily old foxes, so they naturally knew what Qin Yun was thinking. Little Qin, the price of the divine universe heavenly bone isn't as high as before. The outer verse has more divine universe heavenly bones, especially now that we have 3 outerverse entities cooperating with us. We can buy them at a relatively low price. Divine universe heavenly bone. An old man smiled. Qin Yun knew that this group of seniors would definitely lower the price, but he didn't think that the outerverse would actually sell divine universe heavenly bones. Those 3 outerverse entities definitely had a large number of upper-class people, so naturally, there were also higher life forms, such as beastmen and beastmen. Thus, there would naturally be many divine universe heavenly bones. What's the current price? Qin Yun didn't think that it was a problem if the price was lowered. In any case, it wouldn't take much effort to obtain Wang Mingtai's divine universe heavenly bone. 500 million per caddy. The old man said, How much do you have? Wang Mingtai's divine universe heavenly bone was relatively heavy, weighing a total of 140 caddies. When Qin Yun had entered the Nine Sun Holy Land, the price of a divine universe heavenly bone had been 1 billion per caddy. Now it had actually dropped by half. Qin Yun looked at Yu Lifan and Xiao Qihong, and they both nodded, indicating that this price was suitable. I have 50 caddies. Qin Yun took out 50 caddies of divine universe heavenly bone. A portion of it was Wang Mingtai's, and the rest was beastmen's. When he had entered the Nine Sun Holy Land, he had obtained over 60 caddies of divine universe heavenly bone. Adding in Wang Mingtai's, that was over 100 caddies. After selling the 50 caddies, he still had 100 caddies left, which was enough for him to use in the future. 50 caddies of divine universe heavenly bone was sold for 50 billion, but this was far from enough for Qin Yun. He had planned to thicken his skin and borrow it, but now he couldn't bring himself to do so. This was because these seniors had gathered 300 billion as a reward for him. Qin Yun had originally thought that the reward would at most be 100 billion divine universe golden stones. He didn't expect the ancient heaven-splitting clan to be so generous and be willing to give him 300 billion. In fact, This was also because the ancient heaven-splitting clan saw that he had extraordinary talent and displayed great potential, which was why they were willing to reward him so much. After the transaction, Qin Yun counted the divine universe golden stones in his hands. He had a total of 400 billion, which was still too little. For things like divine universe golden stones, the more the better. The reason why Qin Yun felt that 400 billion was too little was because he had used it too quickly. Previously, when he had cultivated the divine universe heavenly bone in his arm, he had used up 200 billion in just 2 to 3 days. Chapter 30-35. I want to take back the unused Yu clan heavenly talisman. Xiao Qi Hong said to Qin Yun with a smile. Xiao Qin, rest well. You are also very tired today. Other elders want to say something because they all want to rope in Qin Yun, especially Qin Ancient Clan and Xiao Ancient Clan. They all want to rope in Qin Yun. But thinking that Qin Yun is now a treasure of Yu Ancient Clan, moreover he is overflowing with wealth, it is not easy to poach him away. These elders still have many things to do. They have to receive the inheritance of outer verse, classify them, analyze them, and study them. After organizing them, they will impart them to the geniuses of their clan. After Yu Li Fan and Xiao Qi Hong left, Xiao Yuelon suddenly ran in. Little husband, you are too awesome. You tricked that bastard Wang Mingtai to death. Xiao Yuelon said with charming smile. Of course. Otherwise, how could I become Yuelon's little husband? Qin Yun giggled and caressed his beautiful wife's face. Oh, that's right. Where's Yue? That little girl is together with Granny Tai Yue and Sister Shang Yun. She wants to pester Granny Tai Yue for delicious food. After Xiao Yuelon finished speaking, her expression gradually became solemn. Yuelon, what's wrong? Qin Yun asked in low voice. The nine-yang Dharma spirit's current state is very unstable. According to Mai and Yue's guess, the nine-yang Dharma spirit wants to condense a true body. Xiao Yuelon said, when the time comes, it will definitely cause a great commotion. Qin Yun said in shock, Nine-sun law spirit wants to condense a true body? Isn't that very strong? Xiao Yuelon nodded. Precisely because it is very strong, it will surely be suppressed by the strongest humans in our universe. What about you guys? Won't it be very dangerous? Qin Yun is very worried. He promptly held Xiao Yuelon's hands. We still don't know when Nine-sun law spirit will condense a true body. It is also possible that he will control his cultivation at 9th level divine space realm. We must quickly increase our cultivation. Xiao Yuelon said. Qin Yun nodded and said, the cultivation of the divine universe realm requires too many divine universe metals. Xiao Yun, let's cultivate together. Xiao Yuelon promptly pulled Qin Yun outside. Qin Yun took out the nine-sun heaven-raising pagoda. This pagoda was destroyed earlier. After being placed inside the divine space purple sun, it gradually recovered a lot. After entering, the two of them took a bath. After a sweet moment, the young couple began to enter a state of joint cultivation. The divine moon female's cultivation of the Sun Moon Heart Sutra had already entered a new chapter. At that moment, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon were cultivating the 3rd level of the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra together. They felt that it was very different from before. It will only be effective if I cultivate with you every once in a while. After entering the divine space realm, only by using this method to cultivate together with you will there be an effect. Like before, when a few people held hands and cultivated together, it is no longer possible. Xiao Yuelon leaned into Qin Yun's embrace and said in a low voice, Yuelon, none of you have cultivated the soul divine universe? I've cultivated it. Tell me, if I cultivate with you, can I help you cultivate it? Asked Qin Yun curiously. It should be possible, but we have to do it many times. Xiao Yuelon said. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon slept for a night. When he woke up, Qin Yun discovered that his divine cosmos power has increased by 100. He originally only had 2,800, but now he had 2,900. Cultivating together can only increase divine cosmos power. Divine universe, heavenly bone, and mental universe power cultivation did not increase. However, Qin Yun is still very happy. This will allow him to save a lot of divine universe golden stones. My divine cosmos power has increased by 100, Qin Yun said with a smile. The effect is very good. I have to try it out more in the future. It will only be effective after a period of time. Do you think sleeping with a girl every day can increase it by 100? How can there be such a good thing? Xiao Yuelon said with a smile. If it's possible, you can sleep with the entire Divine Moon clan. Wouldn't that mean you can ascend to the heavens? Qin Yun laughed loudly and said, Sleep with the entire Divine Moon clan? I don't even dare to think about it. Sister Shang Yun will kill me. You and Yuner have never cultivated together before, right? This little girl only knows how to have fun. She doesn't even try it out with you. Xiao Yuelon poked Qin Yun's abdomen and said with a smile, Tell her about this. It will also be helpful to her, understand? Xiao Yuelon got up, put on her clothes, tied up her hair, and left in a hurry. She's the 9-sun divine maiden. She definitely has a lot of things to do. She still has to enter the divine sun core to cultivate from time to time. Qin Yun can only sigh with emotion. The 9-sun divine maiden is indeed good. The 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda is located in a courtyard in the City Lord Mansion. After entering the City Lord Mansion, this pagoda is still very eye-catching. The ancient garden city is inside the myriad realms divine Sunday. Now, the entire pagoda is absorbing the power of the myriad realms divine Sunday. This can allow the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda to repair itself faster. Qin Yun is pondering over how to deal with the great change. Currently, no one knows what the great change will be or how much of an impact it will have. And the current impact is that the space has been restricted, causing it to be difficult for information to flow quickly and the teleportation formation to be unable to operate. The upper echelons want to seal off the flow of information in the Divine Desolate. This can make the living beings in the Divine Desolate know less about the outside world. It can suppress the spread of all kinds of knowledge and information, helping to suppress more living beings and prevent them from growing up. Once they fall into a closed environment, they will be like a frog in a well, holed up in a small area all day, fighting to the death. If they come into contact with the outside world, know that the world is vast and join a sect or something, then the space for growth will be even greater. The upper echelons want to suppress the civilization inheritance of the Divine Desolate. Motherfucker, it's not easy to expand the sail of the light mist. Qin Yun is very angry. Previously, there was a teleportation formation that could quickly transport them to various places to sell. Now, there is no teleportation formation. The transportation process is very troublesome, and there's also a certain amount of risk. Damn upper echelons. Messing up my plans. One day, I will definitely overturn them. Qin Yun's grand plan to earn Divine Universe Golden Stones is difficult to implement because the upper echelons have interfered in the Divine Desolate. Malheur helping to find Divine Universe Golden Stone mines, selling large amounts of light mist, or helping to awaken bloodline heavenly runes. These are all big business. And now, all these paths to wealth have been blocked. Inside the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda, Qin Yun is thinking about how to get rich and how to deal with the great changes that are coming. Suddenly, someone outside lightly shouted, Yun, it's me. This is Yu Shangyun's voice. Why is she here? Is she here to sleep with me? Qin Yun immediately opened the door and let Yu Shangyun in. He and Yu Shangyun have not been intimate for a long time. Although their relationship is not public, there are some women in the Divine Moon clan who know that they have a close relationship. As soon as Yu Shangyun came in, she took off her helmet. The wonderful fragrance on her body is incomparably strong. It is like a lover's deep affection suddenly gushing out. Damn it! Qin Yun deeply breathed in that strange fragrance. Looking at the cold and tyrannical race emperor's absolutely beautiful face, he shouted in his heart. I heard that you are very short on Divine Universe Golden Stones. I helped you gather 100 billion. I borrowed it from Granny Taiwei. Yu Shangyun said. Chapter 3036. This, how can I accept it? Qin Yun indeed needs the Divine Universe Golden Stone, but he never mentioned it to Yu Shangyun. Anyway, Granny Taiwa won't chase after me. Yu Shangyun said, You should accept it. Yin can only accept it. As far as he knows, the Divine Moon Clan's Heavenly Rune Clan women are of great help to Granny Taiwa, helping her evolve her bloodline. Therefore, Granny Taiwa will also greatly help the Divine Moon Clan. Yu Shangyun has been busy cultivating. It can be said that most people are busy cultivating recently, especially those who are highly valued by the major powers. Moon, although Shangyun did not say anything. After she entered, the fragrance on her body became thicker and thicker. She did not need to speak. The rich and wonderful fragrance on her body clearly showed her current mood. Qin Yun did not say anything else. He directly hugged the beauty and kissed her crazily. Moon, because Shangyun cultivated the sun and Moonheart Sutra's new chapter, she needed to abstinence, but now she doesn't need to. She can finally sleep with Qin Yun. Qin Yun is truly unable to resist this absolutely beautiful emperor's fiery passion, but she has already given him 100 billion divine universe golden stones. Even if he can't resist it, he has to endure it. Furthermore, for the sake of a man's dignity, after an unknown period of time, Qin Yun struggled free from the fantastical dream. This kind of feeling is very wonderful, but also very crazy. In the bath, Yu Shangyun looked at Qin Yun and said, "Are you all right? I should have known that Yuelon had come before." "I'm fine. Yuelon did come, but she only cultivated with me." Qin Yun promptly explained and said with smile, "What can happen to me? I'm very good." He doesn't want to be looked down upon by Yu Shangyun. Moon Shangyun nodded and said, "The Sun and Moonheart Sutra's new chapter has remarkable effect, but there is a time gap. Next time, let me try it with you." "All right." Qin Yun laughed and asked, "Sister Shangyun, how are Feng Yu and the other kings now? Can you guarantee the Divine Moon Clan's battle strength?" Without the magic mirror, Qin Yun could not lurk in their group. He could not see their beautiful pictures and videos. The fun suddenly decreased by a lot. Their current cultivation is not bad. They can steadily and quickly increase their cultivation. However, the clan needs more people with Heavenly Rune bloodline. I plan to ask you to help them awaken their Heavenly Rune bloodline. Yu Shangyun said, "No problem. When do we start?" Qin Yun said, "I have your Divine Moon Clan's bloodline Heavenly Pattern box in my hand. You were all born because of that bloodline Heavenly Pattern box. With this bloodline Heavenly Pattern box, maybe you can awaken even more bloodlines and become even stronger." Yin had this thought a long time ago, but he was worried that it would cause a huge commotion, so he did not take action until now. Now that Yu Shangyun had taken the initiative to request it, he would not refuse. It will be carried out within the 4 divine suns. I will arrange it. In the divine moon of the heavens, there is a teleportation channel that leads to the 4 god suns. Yu Shangyun came to Qin Yun's side and gently caressed Qin Yun's chest. Although she appeared ice-cold, she was very gentle at the moment. "Sister Shangyun, if a great change comes, no matter what kind of danger I face, you must remain calm and protect yourselves. Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself," Qin Yun said gently, then embraced the beautiful divine moon great empress in his arms. Although Yu Shangyun looked like a very calm empress, Qin Yun understood her. Once he was in danger, she would most likely do something crazy. "I know," Yu Shangyun said softly. Qin Yun has a very bad premonition. He feels that when a great change comes, he will definitely be involved in it. After all, he is the divine king of Divine Desolate, and the arrival of a great change is mainly aimed at Divine Desolate and 9 Sun Law Spirit. Qin Yun is the key existence. He cannot stay out of it. "Yun, come with me today to the 4 divine suns. There is Divine Moon Heaven City there. Inside the city is Guanghan Palace." Yu Shangyun also has a bad premonition. She believes that as long as Qin Yun is inside the 4 divine suns, he will be safe. "And we will go now." Qin Yun also wants to quickly go to Divine Moon Heaven City and help the Divine Moon Clan women awaken their bloodline Heavenly Rune. Moon Shangyun and Qin Yun immediately came out of the bath, quickly put on their clothes, and walked out of the 9 Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda. Just as he went out, Qin saw Ba Hao and his family. Ba Tain, Li Qianqin, Ba Hao, and Ba Yu, the family of four, seemed to have been waiting outside for a long time. Boss Qin, our family of four will from now on be loyal to you, to repay your great kindness. Ba Tain immediately said after seeing Qin Yun. This is as easy as lifting a finger for me. Qin Yun said with smile, if you don't despise my low cultivation, you can follow me. There is no need to swear allegiance or anything. We are equal. Ba Tain and Li Qianqin promptly agreed. In their opinion, although Qin Yun's cultivation is low, he is very strong. Otherwise, he would not have been able to kill Wang Mingtai. Qin Yun found Xiao Yuelan and Xiao Yuemei. They want to go to the divine sun they belong to and enter the inner core to cultivate, so they won't go with Qin Yun to the four divine suns. Qin Yun brought the Ba family and boarded Yushang Yun's boat and flew towards the fourth divine Sunday. With Ba Tain and Li Qianqin overseeing the fourth divine sun, it will be even safer there. Moon Xiang Yun saw these two experts following Qin Yun and felt a lot more at ease. Brother Ba, Divine Desolate, is about to undergo a great change. Do you know about it? Qin Yun asked. Bade Grandine and Li Qianqin shook their heads. They had been poisoned and fainted. Ba Hao said, Big Brother Qin, I do know a bit. I heard from the captain that the middle and upper echelons of your universe will send a large number of people into Divine Desolate. When the time comes, they will form all kinds of factions in Divine Desolate to suppress you and replace you to rule over Divine Desolate. According to your universe's rules, Divine Desolate is a low-level heaven and earth. The strongest people they will send will not exceed the 9th-level divine space realm. My parents are not weak. It should not be a problem to resist them. Yun nodded and sighed. If it is only like this, then Divine Desolate's resources will be snatched away by them. I am not willing to accept this. In order to keep them in check, the Nine-Sun Law Spirit will bring in 3 Outerverse people. They will also enter Divine Desolate. When the time comes, Divine Desolate will fall into chaos. Ba Hao said. Qin Yun said with frown. Then many people will definitely die. Yushang Yun said, the Nine-Sun Law Spirit bringing in 3 Outerverse people shouldn't be very reliable. They will definitely not help the local powers of Divine Desolate. Ba Tai nodded and said, that's for sure. If the Great Blue Empire sends people into Divine Desolate, first of all, it will be to obtain a large amount of resources. In their eyes, there is only profit, so we can't count on them to help defend against the enemy. Chapter 30-37. The 9 Yang Dharma Spirits' restriction on the people from the outer universe was only that they were not allowed to come over. At most, they were not allowed to slaughter the living beings of the divine wilderness. Toes for those 3 people from the outerverse. The 9 Yang Dharma Spirit could not determine whether or not they would help the people from the divine wilderness after they entered the divine wilderness. But no matter what, when these 3 outerverse individuals entered the divine wasteland, they would more or less keep the middle and upper-class humans in check and prevent them from running rampant in the divine wasteland. Taimba and company were well aware of the Great Blue Empire. They believed that the Great Blue Empire would at most send a large number of Lanyu people into the divine wilderness. It was impossible for the Great Blue Empire to risk their lives. The 9 Yang Dharma Spirit probably only wants us to learn the outerverse cultivation techniques. The ancient heaven-splitting clan will learn the outerverse cultivation techniques and then find a way to modify them into something suitable for us before passing them down, Qin Yun said. This is indeed a good direction, but it will take a long time to see the effect, Li Qianqin said. It seems that regardless of whether it's the outerverse upper echelons or this universe's upper echelons, they all hope that the divine desolation will become a field of metal and stone for the divine universe, and they all want a piece of land in the divine desolation. Tain Ba said, this will be a disaster for the native life forms. Earth-living beings would definitely be blessed by the myriad world's divine sun, and their cultivation speed would be much faster. That these external powers will not allow the local life forms to grow Otherwise, they will stop them from occupying the divine desolate's resources. Institute at that time, it was highly likely that the native creatures would be slaughtered. The aboriginals of the divine wasteland were very weak overall, yet they occupied such a fertile divine land. Furthermore, the foreign powers were so strong that they didn't even treat the lower class as humans. If they were to slaughter the aboriginals, they definitely wouldn't feel any psychological burden. The nine-sun Dharma spirit will definitely not care about this matter. Our myriad heavens, divine desolates, native living beings can only bear with it. Qin Yun closed his eyes. It is as if he can see a large number of races being massacred in myriad heavens, divine desolate. If such a thing really happens, I will never forgive them. No matter which universe they come from or how powerful they are, I, Qin Yun, swear that I will slaughter them all. Yin swore an oath. The divine desolate heavens could be said to be his home. Although he grew up in this land, it was truly this land that nurtured him. They could not allow outsiders to trample on this land. After a few days, Yu Shangyun's ship finally arrived at the four divine suns. No, with the teleportation array, they could only use the method of flying, which was much slower. After entering four divine suns, Qin Yun immediately went to find the divine judge, Grand Elder Ling, 9 Yang divine palaces upper echelon, and a few other powerful races upper echelon who had good relations with Qin Yun. Won the World God Court, the Ling family, the Fire Tribulation race, the Nine Suns royal family, the Sky Fox race, the White Sun God race, the Purple Sun Elf race, the Raging Sun Tiger race, the Alien race, the Mystic Moon Alliance, and so on. These factions did not belong to the Nine Suns Dharma Spirit or the Heaven-Splitting Ancient Clan. They were very independent and had a very close relationship with Qin Yun. Deacon the Magic Realm and Heaven's Secret Gate could not be exposed for the time being. They were both hidden in space. Qin Yun had informed the Law Enforcement World King and Black Killer Master to prepare for the coming great changes. Namely, even the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms did not receive the support of the Nine Suns Lost Spirit. This meant that the Nine Suns Lost Spirit had already given up on the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms. In other words, the gods had already been abandoned by the Nine Suns Dharma Spirit. This was because the growth of the gods was still too slow. At present, the entire Divine Court of the Myriad Worlds was nothing in the God-desolate heavens. There were a total of 20 to 30 people in this meeting. They were all high-ranking officials. Although they were not particularly strong, they were all outstanding leaders. The meeting was presided over by Qin Yun. They thought highly of Qin Yun because in their hearts, Qin Yun was the true God King. A great change is coming. At that time, the environment of the deity desolate will be the worst. If that day really comes, we shouldn't face strong enemies. Instead, we should secretly develop and strengthen ourselves. The Heaven-Splitting Ancient Clan is greatly restricted. We can't place all our hopes on them. You should know that their bloodline heavenly patterns are very powerful, especially the 3rd and 4th generation ones. Everyone, the birth of the clans behind you, is more or less related to the bloodline heavenly pattern box. As for me, I'm currently researching bloodline heavenly runes. In the future, I'll definitely be able to help you awaken more bloodline heavenly runes. When Qin Yun said this, the upper echelons became excited. They did not doubt Qin Yun's words. Previously, a group of people with heavenly runes suddenly appeared in the Yu Ancient Clan and caused a huge commotion. Then, the Ling family also suddenly had many people with heavenly runes join the Yu Ancient Clan. This matter was still fresh in the minds of the upper echelons. They are now certain that those people with heavenly runes were all caused by Qin Yun. God King, are you going to gather your strength and unite all of our factions? And then rope in more powerful races in the deity desolate? Asked the divine presiding elder. Qin Yun nodded. My Raging Sun Tiger clan will listen to God King's arrangements. Raging Sun Tiger Emperor immediately expressed his stance. Purple Sun Fairy clan has no objections. Zao stood up. God King, my Heavenly Fox clan is willing to follow you. said who may, follow. After that, the Ling family, Mystic Moon Alliance, White Sun God Clan, and other factions also expressed their willingness to join Qin Yun's new faction. Nanyang Temple originally belonged to Qin Yun, and the Nanyang Royal Clan's clan emperor was Yushi. Now that Yushi is not here, the Nanyang Royal Clan will listen to Qin Yun. We want to develop, so we need a large amount of medicinal pills. Heavenly Fox Clan and Divine Moon Clan are experts in growing medicinal herbs. Nanyang Temple's Pill Hall, Myriad Realms Divine Court's Pill God, and Medicine God will cooperate to build a pill refining area and develop more outstanding alchemists. Without the teleportation formation, we will need a large number of large flying ships to transport goods or transfer the powerful races in the deity Desolate to the four divine suns. Nanyang Temple's inscription gate will lead the construction of large ships with strong defense and attack power. You all will cooperate with the inscription gate. Qin Yun looked at the person in charge of the inscription gate, Xiaohua. In addition, we need a large number of large beasts. Nanyang Temple's Dragon Hall and Beast Hall will be in charge of finding strong beast races in the deity Desolate and rope them in as much as possible. Raging Sun Tiger Clan, Fire Tribulation Crazy Race, Nanyang Royal Clan, they're all strong races in the early stages. You're in charge of contacting other races and see if they are willing to join the four divine suns. Remember, don't let the ferocious evil race join. Purple Sun Fairy Clan, they're in charge of finding the deity Desolate. It will be easier for you to communicate with them. Divine Moon Alliance, you should develop well in Divine Moon of the Heavens. Divine Moon of the Heavens is a very large market. Especially in the future, there will definitely be more people. Divine Moon of the Heavens has a teleportation formation that leads to the four divine suns. It can be used to transmit information. Of course, if you can help, you can also help other races. Qin Yun's arrangements were all to gather the strong races to prevent a large number of strong races from being massacred and exterminated after the Great Change. Chapter 3038. Although the strong races of God Desolate were born from the nine suns Dharma spirit, not all of them are good. There are also some evil and cruel evil races. Of course, the majority of them are good races, but the nine suns Dharma spirit doesn't care about their life and death. Big with the arrival of the Great Change, these strong races will be the first to be exterminated. Evil, the vicious and cruel evil race, will definitely join the invaders' army at the first moment. Then, they will rush to the front and slaughter the other powerful races of the divine Desolate Heavens to show their loyalty. The interior of the four divine suns is very big. It can be said that it is much bigger than the interior of other divine suns. There are usually two layers inside a divine Sunday. The outer layer is the biggest, and it is mainly occupied by the descendants of Divine Sunday. The inner layer is the strong races created by the nine suns Dharma spirit. These strong races reside in the inner layer to protect the Divine Sun and resist the invasion of the descendants of Divine Sunday, and the inner layer is also the area where the core is located. Although it is not as big as the outer layer, it can accommodate many people. Four divine suns are different from the other divine suns. There are no descendants of Divine Sun, so the outer layer is very big and will not be separated. Big inside most divine suns, the outer layer is separated into many small areas, so it will appear very small. In order to make the outer layer more lively and gather more energy, Qin Yun plans to move the small heavenly universe Divine Sun, where the Imperial Heaven Pawnshop is located inside. Small heavenly universe Divine Sun can absorb the divine power of the four divine suns, then transform the power of the Divine Sun and project it to the ground outside the four divine suns. Divine King, what about our foreign space race? What do we need to do? And Wukong said, your task is very difficult. You must work hard to break through the restrictions of space. The upper echelons are suppressing God Desolate by sealing the space and restricting the flow of information. This is to prevent us from gathering together. Qin Yun said very seriously. The Magic Mirror's Formation Foundation was invaded before, and in Wukong only noticed it later. They did not notice it before. The existence of the magic mirror allows the information of God Desolate to quickly spread, and the teleportation formation allows the strong races of God Desolate to quickly gather together. But the magic mirror can increase the cohesion. The upper echelons of this universe knew this very well. That was why they first restricted space and destroyed the operation of the magic mirror system. The various races of the Divine Desolate were scattered all over the Divine Desolate, and they were very far away from each other. Even if they were to fly, it would take at least 2 to 3 days. If they were to march, it would take at least a few days. Such as a result, the various clans of the Divine Desolate were in a state of disunity. Furthermore, they were unable to obtain any news of the Divine Desolate, so they had no idea what kind of danger the Divine Desolate was facing. By the time they realized it, the army had already killed their way to their clans. Every powerful race had a natural array formation protecting them, and in their treasure lands, there are large amounts of Divine Universe Goldstones. Therefore, those powerful races would definitely become the primary targets of the invaders. Not to mention that the powerful clans that appeared along with the seventh Divine Sun were all very strong and arrogant. They would definitely not move. Qin Yun had no intention of transferring them to the four God Sons. He only intended to let the divine court of the myriad worlds inform them of the crisis that the various races of the divine wilderness would face, so that they could prepare to deal with it. Divine King, what about our Ling family? Although we are weaker, we also want to contribute. Great Elder Ling said, your Ling family should have the ability to search for divine universe metal ores. You can try searching for a small, uninhabited mine in secret and tell everyone when you find it. Then, you can use the method of drilling to secretly transfer the divine universe metal ores in the small mine. This divine universe goldstone can be used to build goldstone in the four God Sons, or to help everyone develop. Qinyan said. He only pointed out the general direction. The specific details will be decided by the big shots after further discussion. I will not stay in the four God Sons for long. I have more important things to do outside. But before I leave, I will help the people of the various races try to awaken their bloodline heavenly runes. Qin Yun said. The big shots of the various races are now very excited. If they truly have a group of people with bloodline heavenly runes, they will be able to advance by leaps and bounds in the future. Want to help people awaken their bloodline heavenly runes? They need to use Divine King Heavenly Seal to stamp on their bodies. There are so many people from the various races. If Qin Yun wants to stamp them one by one, it will take a very long time. Benny didn't dare to think like this before, but Taisher told him that he can use Divine King Heavenly Seal to stamp talisman papers and then make awakening talismans. He doesn't need to stamp them one by one. He can make a stack of talisman papers and then place the Divine King Heavenly Seal on top of it. That way, he can pass through the stack of talisman papers and turn them into awakening talismans. Of course, this will consume a large amount of Divine Universe Goldstone. A few 10 billion is definitely not a small amount. Qin Yun originally planned to use his own Divine Universe Goldstone, but the big shots of the various races are very cordial and generous. Each of them gave him 20 to 30 billion. Altogether, he has 150 billion. Although he can make awakening talismans very quickly, he is not doing it casually. This time, he also cooperated with the other bloodline heavenly pattern boxes. For example, when he helped the Purple Sun Fairy race awaken, he used the bloodline heavenly pattern box given to him by the Purple Sun Fairy race. When he helped the Mystic Moon Alliance people awaken, he used the Mystic Moon bloodline heavenly pattern box. Then there is Bai Yang bloodline heavenly pattern box, as well as the one given to him by the Mad Sun Tiger Emperor. When he helped the Nine Sun royal family awaken, he used the one Xie Karu left behind. It is also the first bloodline heavenly pattern box Qin Yun obtained. He often fused it with the myriad heaven divine saber. After adding the power of these bloodline heavenly pattern boxes, more people can awaken, and the awakened bloodline heavenly runes will be even stronger. This is all taught to him by Taisher. Qin Yun is inside a spacious and quiet hall of the Guanghan Palace. He is busy stamping stacks of talisman papers. Shuei Yu, Jian Linglong, Yu Shutian, Lan Fengjin, Xing Shun, and other women proficient in inscription are helping from the side. Actually, they don't need to help much. They are just helping to organize the awakening talismans, then categorizing them into boxes and giving them to various races to use. Open Heavenly Ancient Race is being watched very closely. So the person who helped them awaken a large number of bloodline heavenly runes will definitely be discovered by the upper echelons. Yu Li Fan and Yu Yuan are already scared to death. And Qin Yun is not afraid at all now. The upper echelons want to send a large army to Divine Desolate to start a massacre. What is there for him to be afraid of? Illusion after awakening bloodline heavenly runes. All aspects will improve a lot. Even if they are not stronger than the army sent by the upper echelons, they will not fall behind too much. Qin Yun is still busy for a long time. Because there are many people from various races, he has to make too many awakening talismans. After finishing this matter, he will go out to find the Law Enforcement Realm King and Xian Shazi. The Law Enforcement Realm and Heaven's Secret Sect are hiding in a hidden space. This should be very safe. He wants the Law Enforcement Realm and Heaven's Secret Sect to cooperate and find the Great Divine King and kill him. Chapter 30-39. The Great Divine Lord's Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box was taken back by the Nine-Yang Dharma Spirit. It was like he had lost his godly monarch heavenly seal. He knew that he had been abandoned, so he hated the Nine-Yang Dharma Spirit and the entire deity Desolate. One had to know that the Great Divine Lord's foundation was not bad, with a heavenly universe divine son's heart. If he could use it well, he would be a terrifying existence in the future. Institute, therefore, in Qin Yun's eyes, the Great Divine Lord was a great scourge. The Nine-Yang Law Spirit could not personally attack the Great Divine Lord, so the matter of exterminating the Great Divine Lord fell on Qin Yun's head. The Nine-Yang Law Spirit also knew that Qin Yun would definitely kill the Great Divine Lord. Therefore, he was not afraid that the Great Divine Lord would cause trouble in the Divine Desolate Land. Qin Yun busied himself for several days and nights, producing a large number of awakening talismans. He has been very tired these past few days. After he finished busying himself, he went to a spacious room inside Guanghan Palace to rest. Yi Yaoshui and Xian Rujing ran over to accompany him to rest. Night Yaoshui and Xian Rujing's cultivation is not higher than Qin Yun's. Their bodies are also not as strong as Qin Yun's, so Qin Yun is not afraid of them. The woman accompanied Qin Yun for an entire night. From time to time, she would channel divine universe power into his body to help him recover. They were not like Yu Shangyun, so Qin Yun was able to get ample rest. When he woke up, he was in high spirits and his face was glowing as he enjoyed the considerate service of the two beauties. Xiao Yun, Sister Shui Yu said that she wants you to personally help us awaken bloodline heavenly rune. Therefore, you will be very busy from now on. Xian Rujing said with smile. Is that so? Sister Shang Yun told me before that I can just use the awakening talisman. Qin Yun thought of that group of passionate and hot Divine Moon Clan women and felt his kidneys ache. Yi Yaoshui said with smile. Husband, Divine Moon Clan is managed by a few dukes. They will arrange for sisters to line up for you to help them awaken. Can I use the awakening talisman? Qin Yun curled his lips and said, I won't be too tired this way. That won't do. Sister Shui, you said that you must personally awaken the sisters. Only then will they acknowledge you. Xian Rujing's charming eyes are like silk, she said with charming smile. In the eyes of these kings, you are their second clan's emperor. Our Divine Moon Clan has two clan emperors, you and Sister Shangyun. Yi Yaoshui said again. What nonsense are you talking about? Second clan's emperor. That should also be Aunt Xiao. Qin Yun pinched their beautiful faces and said with smile, Don't go around talking nonsense. Regarding the matter between Yu Shangyun and Qin Yun, the upper echelons of the Divine Moon Clan could more or less see something, even though Yu Shangyun had never expressed it. But the Divine Moon Clan are all women. They are very sensitive to the changes in emotions. They can sense that Yu Shangyun's attitude towards Qin Yun is very different. Of course, only a few women knew that Qin Yun and Yu Shangyun had developed that kind of relationship. For example, Luo Yao Feng, the female devil slayer. She was the first to know. Where was Princess Luo? I haven't seen her for a long time. Qin Yun suddenly recalled Princess Luo Yao Feng. Princess Luo gave her bloodline heavenly rune to him. Luo is in seclusion. She was cultivating the new chapter of Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. She missed you so much that she came to find us all day and asked all kind of questions. If she was not in seclusion, you would be very busy. Xian Rujing said with smile. Yao Xue giggled and said, Luo and Sister Star God are in seclusion together. They are now called Star Wind Twin Charms. Qin Yin has already experienced Star God. This kind of peerless fox, she is comparable to a genuine fox like Humei Er. Now Luo Yao Feng is together with her. Adding on Xue Tianzi, this kind of water fox, it is truly terrible. Qin Yin immediately put on his clothes. He wants to continue crafting awakening talismans. He doesn't want to have too much contact with Divine Moon Clan's women. However, just as he left his room, he saw a pair of beauties outside. They are wearing thin clothes. They are precisely the Star Wind Twin Charms. Luo Yao Feng is wearing white skirt. She is not charming at all. On the contrary, she appears gentle and quiet. Her face is filled with a lively smile, making her look like she is filled with youthful vigor. Although it is known that she used to be a female devil slayer, but she always gives people the impression that she is an innocent and lively, mischievous young girl. The star goddess beside her was different. She wore the same white dress as Luo Yao Feng. Her snow-white, jade-like, long legs stretched out from the slit of her dress. She also had a smile on her face, but it was overflowing with seductiveness. Princess Luo, Sister Star God, long time no see. Qin Yun said with smile. He is appreciating the two beauties before him. Brother Yun, where are you going? Luo Yao Feng arrived beside Qin Yun with light smile, then looked inside the room and saw Yi Yao Xue and Xian Rujing are already wearing clothes and walking out. I'm going to start crafting awakening talismans. You should know about it. Qin Yun said with smile. This is a very important matter. These awakening talismans are used to help Divine Moon Clan's little sisters awaken their bloodline heavenly rune. We already know about this matter. Didn't Sister Xue Yu say that you will personally help us awaken our bloodline heavenly rune? Star God's charming voice lightly laughed. Then she arrived beside Qin Yun, and her lily-white hands gently caressed Qin Yun's face. For some unknown reason, Qin Yun was pushed and pulled by Star God and Luo Yao Feng and returned to his room. At this time, Yi Yao Xue and Xian Rujing have already left. Qin Yun only wants to let Ling Yuner out and let her help him suppress these two fairies. Qin Yun finally understood why a woman like Luo Yao Feng, who was not seductive at all, was called the double charm of the Star Wind. It was because when she and the Star God worked together, they formed a contrast that gave off an even more intense impact. At noon, Qin Yun very happily came out of the bath. Luo Yao Feng and Star God helped him put on clothes. He truly has the feeling of a clan emperor. As long as it is not Sister Shang Yun, there is nothing to be afraid of. Qin Yun pinched Star Wind Twin Charm's cheeks. He is very happy in his heart. All right, you don't need to craft awakening talismans. Just directly awaken. Star God said with smile. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, Why directly awaken? Sister Xue Yu's idea, the other princes, Divine Moon, Heavenly Daughter, and Her Highness Xianqin all agree. Luo Yao Feng said with smile. Xiao Xuanqin is Yu Shangyun's successor, so in the clan, she is called Her Highness. Go to small portion of Moon Clan's women, join Divine Moon Clan later, but they all obtain Divine Moon bloodline divine origin. After fusing with them, they all have Divine Moon bloodline. This Divine Moon bloodline is also inherited from Bloodline Heavenly Rune box, so they can hide Bloodline Heavenly Rune inside their bodies. Qin Yun doesn't know why Xue Wei appointed him to personally awaken. Help the awakening of Divine Moon Clan's women will begin in the Guanghan Palace. Moreover, it will start from the Guanghan Palace. Qin Yun is very familiar with most of the women in the Guanghan Palace. For example, Nangong Shiru, Little Phoenix, Chi Mei-yin, Lan Fengjin, Feng Honglan, Hong Mengshu, and others. They are not originally Divine Moon Clan's people. They only fused with Divine Moon bloodline, divine origin. Chapter 30-40. When Qin Yun was preparing to awaken, the five dukes, as well as Xiao Xin-qin and the Divine Moon Heavenly Maiden, were watching from the side. Anua Shangyun was the last to arrive. After she arrived, Qin Yun began to awaken. Have with the upper echelons of the Divine Moon Clan around, Qin Yun felt a lot more at ease. He mainly wanted to meet some hot and unrestrained Divine Moon Clan women. He had experienced it before. That kind of boldness was like a ferocious beast. Long Yuqing and Long Xiaofeng were originally a dragon sect. Because they knew that a great change was coming, they were summoned back to Four Divine Sun by Yu Shangyun. Even Yu Yaoyao was in the Moon Palace. She was from the ancient Yu clan and had awakened her bloodline heavenly pattern. She also knows that Ling Daixin's bloodline heavenly rune awakened because of Qin Yun's help. In the past few days, the awakening talismans that Qin Yun made were sent to the other races for awakening. And there were many people who could awaken bloodline heavenly patterns. Out of 100 people, more than 90 would be able to do so. Namely, even those who hadn't awakened their bloodline heavenly patterns had awakened. Of course, this matter wasn't spread. Those who had awakened their bloodline heavenly patterns had to sign a soul contract to not spread the news. Qin Yun, do you know why we need you to personally help us awaken? Asked Watermoon. Why? Qin Yun has not started, but he has already taken out the Divine King Heavenly Seal and Divine Moon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. The Divine Moon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box had been with Ming Yun Yue for a very long time, and it was originally passed down to Yu Shangyun. Because we want you to be the ruler of our Divine Moon Clan, Shui Yu said with a smile. Qin Yun was stunned. The Tribe Emperor and the Tribe Emperor should have the same meaning. He looking at Yu Shangyun, she only nodded her head and did not say anything. It was not Yu Shangyun's intention to let Qin Yun become the clan's emperor. It was the intention of the nobles. In addition, the upper echelons of the Guanghan Palace had agreed, and Yu Shangyun did not object. Or rather, Shui Yu and the others knew what Yu Shangyun was thinking, and also knew that Yu Shangyun was too embarrassed to say it, so they helped her say it. Ruo, it is not difficult to make all the Divine Moon women acknowledge Qin Yun as the clan emperor. For example, Qin Yun can give them a large number of awakening talismans to awaken their bloodline heavenly runes. Know the other dukes all believe that if Qin Yun were to personally help with the awakening, the significance would be even greater. God, the women of the Moon Clan, could be said to be born from the heavens and earth. They were all created by the mystic Moon Clan's upper echelons, using a secret technique to gather the power of the heavens and earth. Institute ever since they were born, they trusted Yu Shangyun, Wang Ju, and the other higher-ups. If Qin Yun personally helped them awaken their powerful bloodline heavenly runes, it would be like giving them a second chance at life. What do you mean, Emperor? I've never thought about it. Qin Yun held the God King Heavenly Seal tightly and prepared to help Little Phoenix awaken its bloodline heavenly rune. Brother Xiao Yun, the Mystic Moon Clan has some secrets that we can't tell you. What we can tell you is that if you become our clan ruler, it will be beneficial to both of us. It's just that it hasn't shown yet. Little Phoenix whispered. All right, but let me make it clear in advance that I have a lot of things to do. I can't stay in the Divine Moon Clan all day. Qin Yun said with a smile. It doesn't matter. Even if you don't want to, we will still recognize you. Feng Yu smiled and said. Qin Yun placed the Divine Moon Bloodline Heavenly Rune box on Little Phoenix's back, and then pressed the God King Heavenly Seal on the box. The Silver Moon-like Bloodline Heavenly Rune box seemed to have been activated. It shot out a beam of light that entered Little Phoenix's heart from her back. Little Phoenix frowned and groaned in a low voice. Then, her entire body was enveloped by the silver light. Bring her to her room and let her rest. Let her awaken in seclusion, Yu Shangyun hastily said. All the women present are shocked because the bloodline heavenly rune that little phoenix awakened is not ordinary. Qin also finds it strange. It seems like this is the first time he is using this method to help a divine moon woman awaken a bloodline heavenly rune. Could it be that it will have a better effect on a divine moon woman when they awaken? Qin doesn't know if it's because of the God King heavenly seal or the divine moon bloodline heavenly rune box. Received Qin became very busy. All the women he helped awaken were successful. Moreover, their bloodline heavenly runes are very strong. He worked until nighttime and became very tired. Activating the God King heavenly seal consumes a lot of mental energy. When he rested at night, Su Xin accompanied him. On the second day, Qin continued to help the divine moon women awaken. At night, he rested and then Xiao Xin accompanied him. Could it be that they have discussed who will accompany me? When Qin woke up, he kissed the beautiful Aunt Xiao. Even after being busy for a few more days, Qin finally helped all the divine moon women awaken. Even those with bloodline heavenly runes evolved with his help. Busy after that, Qin could leave the 4 divine sons and go find the great divine king. Today, when he got up from the bed, the 2 beauties beside him are the 2 beautiful women who have followed him for a long time, Zi Qinsheng and Shui Tianzi. Xiao Yun, are you leaving? Can you bring us along? Zi Qinsheng walked down from the bath and gently stroked Qin Yun's back. Little brother Yun, you have to bring us along no matter what. Shui Tianzi is very reluctant to part with Qin Yun. Qin Yun pinched Zi Qinsheng's face and said with smile, Sister Steam Bun, it's not like I won't come back. The 4 divine sons are very safe. I will definitely come back to hide in the future. When are you coming back? Zi Qinsheng asked softly. You're not just saying that, are you? You used to be like this a lot. After I settle a few things, I'll come back immediately. I can't bear to part with my 2 beautiful women, Qin Yun said with smile. Zi Qinsheng and Shui Tianzi are very clear that Qin Yun did not bring them along this time because it is very dangerous. This made them even more worried. If Qin Yun can bring them along like before, it means that even if there is danger, he can deal with it. They only hate that their strength is not enough. Otherwise, they would be able to go together with Qin Yun. Qin Yun quietly left the Guanghan Palace and left the divine Moon Heaven City. Most of the divine moon women in the city are still sleeping or familiarizing themselves with the newly awakened bloodline heavenly runes in their bodies. They don't even know that their clan emperor has already quietly slipped away. Before Qin Yun left, he originally wanted to go see Yu, but he found out that she is in seclusion. Almost all the 9 Sun Divine Maiden are in seclusion inside the core. Qin Yun flew out of the 4 divine sons and suddenly sensed that someone is chasing after him. Are you going to kill the great divine king? After Shang Yun flew over and asked, she directly kissed Qin Yun. After a moment, Qin Yun nodded and said, There won't be any danger, don't worry. You are my only man, you are not allowed to die. After Shang Yun finished speaking, she turned around and flew back. Qin Yun watched Shang Yun disappear and sighed in his heart. Then he took out the heaven-leaping shuttle and flew towards the divine desolate. Xian Shazi, Law Enforcement Realm King, and Tian Rui are already waiting for him at the agreed place. Heaven Rui impersonated the Sun En race's emperor and was secretly controlling the heavenly court. However, some unforeseen events occurred and the entire heavenly court suddenly disbanded. After that, the great divine king disappeared. Chapter 3041. The great change came faster than Qin Yun imagined. Ever since the magic mirror and teleportation array could not be used, people from the middle and upper echelons began to appear in the divine desolate. Qin Yun did not stay in the 4 divine sons for too long, about half a month in total. When he arrived at heaven-surmounting divine city, he discovered that the entire city had been reduced to ruins. This city originally belonged to the Ling family. Ever since the Ling family moved their huge divine universe goldstone to the 4 divine sons, the city lost its defenses. The great array that protected the city originally relied on the huge divine universe goldstone beneath the Ling residence to provide powerful energy. Heaven's surmounting divine city was considered a medium-sized city in the divine desolate. There were also quite a number of people. Now that it had been reduced to ruins, it meant that the people who attacked did not intend to keep this city. The heaven-soaring divine city did not have any divine universe goldstones, nor was it on a treasure ground. This kind of city would not attract the attention of the middle and upper-class people, and to destroy this city, only a 9th-level divine universe stage powerhouse would be able to do it in a few moves. Although the 9-yang Dharma spirit could not prevent the middle and upper echelons from invading the divine desolate, it could restrict living beings that surpassed the 9th-level divine space realm from entering. Even the destroyers did not dare to enter the divine desolate. If the 9-yang Dharma spirit really went all out, it would be very terrifying. It also used this to intimidate the middle and upper echelons. Qin Yun stood on a large white jade gourd, which was the heaven-leaping shuttle. He looked down at the huge city that had been reduced to ruins. The heaven-leaping shuttle had been damaged many times before. Later on, with the little ant queen helping to maintain it, the space inside did not shrink. The heaven-leaping shuttle's weakness was that its defense was too weak. It required a large number of divine, universe heavenly bones. Qin Yin stood on the heaven-leaping shuttle. Not long after, Tyne flew over. "Boss Qin, the people you wanted me to protect are not under threat," Tyne said respectfully to Qin Yin. Tyne was a very strong 9th-level divine space realm expert. If a native 9th-level divine space realm expert did not know how to use the Yu clan heavenly talisman or did not gang up on him, it would be very difficult to defeat him. "Where are they?" asked Qin Yin. He had previously sent Tyne to Heaven's surmounting divine city and met up with Xian Sha and the rest, mainly to protect them. "They are all in a very safe place." "I will take you there now," said Ba Tyne. Qin Yin nodded and followed Ba Tyne to fly in the sky. An hour later, they arrived at a deep mountain and entered a cave. The law enforcement world king, Black Killer, Tian Rue, and Yu Yin were all in the cave. Li Qianqin was also here. Both Li Qianqin and Ba Tyne had blue skin. Although they looked weird, they treated people well and were easy to communicate with. When the law enforcement world king and the others learned that the couple pledged loyalty to Qin Yun, they were shocked. This was because Li Qianqin and Ba Tyne were considered top-notch experts in the divine wilderness. "Sister Li, you return to 4 divine son. Brother Ba will follow me. You won't blame me for separating you husband and wife, right?" Qin Yun said with smile. "Boss Qin, help me keep an eye on old Ba. Don't let him steal women." Li Qianqin said with smile, then fiercely glared at Ba Tyne. Ba Tyne is a henpecked man. He immediately shrunk his neck. He doesn't look like a 9th-level divine space realm big shot at all. He muttered, "This universe's women are not good-looking. What's there to steal?" In the eyes of Lan Yu people, only the same race can satisfy their aesthetic standards. "Then what you mean is that if there are blue universe's beauties, we can steal," Li Qianqin said with sneer. "That's not what I mean." Ba Tyne is scared half to death, he promptly explained. This caused Qin Yun and company to laugh involuntarily. "Protect Boss Qin properly. He is our benefactor," Li Qianqin very strictly warned. "Got it," Ba Tyne promptly nodded. Soon after, Qin Yun and Ba Tyne sent Li Qianqin out of the cave. Ba Tyne and Li Qianqin both have a few Yu clan heavenly talismans. Moreover, they're all high-star heavenly talismans refined by Shao Qihong. With these heavenly talismans, their strength will become even stronger. This is also what Qin Yun got from Shao Qihong. After Li Qianqin left, Qin Yun and Ba Tyne entered the cave. "What's going on with heaven-piercing divine city? Who destroyed it?" Qin Yun asked. "Great divine king," Law enforcement realm king said. "He personally came?" Qin Yun said with frown. "Then where is he?" Law enforcement realm king and others all know that Qin Yun always wanted to kill Great Divine King, so they've been paying close attention to his whereabouts. "Boss, Great Divine King is now very dangerous. This guy only sent a clone. He brought a group of very powerful cat ear people. They destroyed heaven-piercing divine city in a few moves. Xian Shazi finished speaking, looked at Ba Tayin, and said, Brother Ba was there at that time. He should be clear about the strength of those cat ear people. Ba Tayin nodded and said, those guys are not from divine desolate. They should be from middle heaven earth. They could be considered middle-level people. There are a total of 4 of them. Their cultivation is mainly around 7th or 8th level. There are 2 9th-level divine space realm. Can you get rid of those 2 9th-level divine space realm cultivators? Qin Yin knew that the cat ear people are from Allur's hometown. Great Divine King had some contact with those cat ear people before. He even kneeled down and licked them. He even sold out the young ancient clan people. Now, it is not only Qin Yin who is looking for Great Divine King. The young ancient clan is also looking for him. Of course I can. I am from the Blue Universe's Great Blue Empire. The Great Blue Empire is the strongest level in the Blue Universe. I can reach the 9th level of Divine Space Realm. At least 3 9th-level Divine Space Realm cultivators from Middle Heaven Earth are needed to defeat me. Ba Tayin said, not to mention that he still has the Yu Clan Heavenly Talisman in his hands. With the Yu Clan Heavenly Talisman, his defense is even stronger. Even if he is besieged, he is not afraid. Xian Shazi and the others are secretly alarmed. They did not expect Ba Tayin to be so good at fighting. Qin Yin nodded his head in satisfaction, looked at Xian Shazi and the others and asked, you should have grasped the whereabouts of Great Divine King and the others. Let's go find them now. Boss, what is the background of those cat ear people? Yu Yan's face is full of anger. She said, Moon Season City was also destroyed by them. Moon Season City also suffered a calamity? Qin Yin frowned and said angrily, this group of damn cat ear people, not only did they invade God Desolate to plunder divine universe metal and stone, they also destroyed God Desolate City. I will never let them off. Let's go, we will set off now. Qin Yin needs to capture 1 or 2 cat ear people to ask about the situation. Although the cat ear people came from Allur's hometown, they have all bullied Allur before, and they are also very greedy. Now that they have invaded God Desolate and destroyed 2 great cities, Qin Yin will not let them off. Only Qin Yin, the law enforcement realm king, and Ba Tayin went together. The others returned to the multi-layered space where the Heaven Mystery Sect is located. Chapter 3042. Qin Yin did not know how many places in the Heaven's Divine Desolate were under attack. Because the magic mirror could not be used, space was sealed for the first time in history. In the Heaven's Divine Desolate, there were many powerful races that possessed treasure lands. Those treasure lands could be said to be the cradle of the powerful races. They possessed large amounts of divine universe metal stones. Once the middle and upper echelons invaded, these powerful races would definitely become targets. Of course, the treasure lands of powerful races were not easy to attack. After all, the cultivation level of those who entered the Heaven's Divine Desolate was limited to the 9th level of the Divine Universe realm. And the barriers of the treasured lands of powerful races were very strong, and they were supported by the myriad realms' divine Sunday. If one possessed a large amount of divine universe metal stones and did not have a strong enough defense, then they would definitely become the primary target. For example, those large cities were all targets to be destroyed. The law enforcement realm king used his secret technique to secretly track the great divine lord and the group of cat-eared people. He would leave behind a special scent on the road that only the Law Enforcement Realm King could smell. Law Enforcement Realm King, how are you sure that it was the avatar of the great Divine Lord? Qin Yin asked. That bastard said it himself. He even flaunted to us that his avatar was gifted to him by someone else, and that it was extremely powerful. He even said that his true body was hidden very well, and that you would definitely not be able to find it. The Law Enforcement Realm King said, You've seen him? Qin Yin said in alarm. Yes, they originally wanted to kill us, but Brother Ba and his wife appeared, so they did not dare to act recklessly. The Law Enforcement Realm King said, Ba Tayin and company were all wearing masks and wrapped up tightly. The great Divine Lord did not know that they came from the Blue Universe. Ba Tain said, "Boss, that great divine lord's avatar was refined from powerful materials and used a lot of divine universe heavenly bones. This kind of body also exists in the Great Blue Empire and is mainly used as a tool body. This was rather common in the Blue Empire, so Ba Tain could tell with a glance. Can you kill it? Qin asked. Yes. Ba Tain smiled and said, this kind of thing in our Blue Empire is only a low-end good. Brother Ba, can you still return to the Blue Empire? If you want to buy a high-end body, how many divine universe metal stones would it cost? The Enforcer Realm King's body was still too weak. After all, he was also a descendant of the divine sun god. After leaving the divine sun god, he would not be able to possess a real body. High-end goods, about 100 billion divine universe metal stones. It can't be said to be expensive, but it can't be said to be cheap either. Ba Tain said, as for low-end goods, it could be settled with a few billion. 100 billion was a massive sum of money even to a law enforcement world king. But if he patiently saved up this sum for a long time, he would be able to do so. The problem is, Brother Ba cannot return to Great Blue Empire. Qin Yun said, of course I can't, but as long as I can enter the ancient garden, I can enter the great continent. Ba Tain smiled and said, Gao Linxing will be the Great Blue Empire's ambassador in the divine wilderness for a long period of time in the ancient garden city. We Blue Universe people are also people, and as long as we are people, we all love money. Empire Hua's people. Dynasty Hua, Qin God Continent World. Qin Empire, Great Gao, the Great Blue Empire definitely had many things that the deity Desolate didn't have or lacked, where the deity Desolate was very expensive to produce. If he sold the Great Blue Empire's goods to the God's Wilderness, or took some goods from the God's Wilderness to the Great Blue Empire, he would definitely be able to make a small profit. Let's talk about this later. Ba Tain smiled. Gao Linxing must like the Yu clan heavenly talisman. We can use it to settle him. How much divine universe heavenly bone in Great Blue Empire? Qin Yun asked. He was lacking divine universe heavenly bone. He had many divine tools because the materials could not keep up. Their abilities were good. If he fused a large amount of divine universe heavenly bone, his divine tools would be able to adapt to this period. Other than that, the godly king heavenly seal could bestow the powers of those divine artifacts. However, the divine artifacts themselves needed to be strong enough for the powers they obtained to be strong. About 500 million divine universe metal stones per gene. If you need a large amount, it can be cheaper. Ba Tain said, in the Great Blue Empire, killing someone to obtain divine universe heavenly bone will have serious consequences. This is the greatest taboo in the Great Blue Empire. Of course, there are people who do it in secret. After all, they can get rich. In the world of the upper class, they were born with divine universe heavenly bone. Many people had divine universe heavenly bone. If they killed someone and took their bone, it would be very profitable, but it would also cause all kinds of chaos. Therefore, this kind of restriction was necessary. How serious are the consequences if you're caught? The law enforcement realm king asked. You will suffer all kinds of torture, living a life worse than death. In short, you won't die, but your soul will be tortured for many years. This should be the most terrifying punishment. Ba Tain said, Brother Ba, there are many aliens in the Nine Sun Holy Land, but their language is different from ours. It seems like we can't communicate with them. Qin Yun said, what's the difference between you and those aliens? Those aliens are barbarians. Of course, they're also very strong. Our universe was once invaded by barbarians, and the Great Blue Empire was almost destroyed. Later on, the Great Blue Sky Emperor turned the tide and saved the Great Blue Empire. Ba Tain said, this was a matter from many years ago. My grandfather was not even born at that time. Ba Tain is very young. He is only in his 40s. If Qin Yun and the law enforcement realm king counted their soul age, they would be old, undying. What is the internal situation of the two universes that came with your Great Blue Empire? Qin Yun asked. I'm not too clear about this. But as far as I know, in any universe, the highest level is ruled by an empire. I'm not too clear about the situation of your universe. Ba Taiyin shook his head. We are at the lowest level and don't know the situation of the highest level. But they restrict our growth and don't allow us to surpass the 9th level of the divine space realm. Qin Yun said, therefore, your universe is very rich in resources, unlike our blue universe, which has already entered its old age. With our universe's resources, it is impossible to form an environment like myriad heavens divine desolate and myriad realms divine Sunday. Ba Taiyin looked at the 7 huge divine suns in the sky with a face full of envy. There must be a way to find other resources, right? Qin Yun did not expect that the blue universe would face this kind of situation. No wonder they wanted to enter myriad heavens divine desolate. Plunder other universes. This is the only way. Ba Taiyin said, but this will only accelerate the extinction of our universe's races. Suddenly, a loud sound came from the front. It's the great divine king and the others. The law enforcement realm king shouted. Those guys are destroying the city again. Qin Yun said angrily. We need to kill a few cat-eared people, otherwise they will think that we are easy to bully. The cat-eared people are only middle-level people. According to the information Qin Yun grasped, the upper-level people will also send people to myriad heavens divine desolate. They will send 9th-level divine space realm experts. They will definitely be stronger than the cat-eared people. Chapter 3043. With Taiyin Ba around, Qin Yun and the law enforcement realm king did not need to take action. Brother Ba, can you really handle it? There are many of them. The law enforcement world king was a bit worried because he had never seen Ba Taiyin's formidable strength. Qin Yun knew that Taiyin Ba was very strong. He had a powerful divine universe, heavenly bone, and some parts of his body had been strengthened. He could be said to be one of the top powerhouses in the 9th level of the divine universe realm. On the cat-eared people's side, there were only 2 in the 9th tier of the divine space realm. Because they came from a medium divine earth, their innate advantages were far inferior to Ba Taiyin's. When Taiyin Ba was born, he had many divine universe heavenly bones in his body. No problem, just watch and see how I take care of those guys. Ba Taiyin was extremely confident. He had seen the cat-eared people led by the great divine lore before, but his main mission at that time was to protect the law enforcement realm king and the others, so he did not make a move. Furthermore, he didn't know if he should make a move or not. If Qin Yun had been present at that time and instructed him to make a move, Great Divine Lord and the others would have been stopped at that time. In the Great Divine Lord's team, there were a total of 4 cat-eared people. 2 of them were in the 9th level of the divine space realm, and the other 2 were only in the 7th or 8th level of the divine space realm. The difference between the 7th and 8th tier of the divine space realm and the 9th tier of the divine space realm was huge. Even if one was at the 9th level of the divine space realm, there is still a great difference between the 9th level of the divine space realm. The main difference was the heavenly divine universe bone within one's body, as well as the cultivation of one's soul and divine universe. Ba Taiyin was certain that the cat-eared men weren't his match. Moreover, he simply looked down on those cat-eared men, because in his eyes, those cat-eared men were beast men with incomplete evolution. Other than the cat-eared man, the great divine lord also brought over a dozen other fellows, all of whom are at the 3rd or 4th level of the divine universe realm. The law enforcement world king said, although those dozen-plus people aren't cat-eared people, according to our senses, they aren't life forms from the divine wilderness. Are you sure? If they are not creatures from the divine desolate, then they must have come from other middle and upper heavenly lands. Qin Yun frowned. Yes, the aura of the power of the divine universe on their bodies is very different from the aura of the myriad world's divine Sunday. Only after cultivating in the divine wilderness for a period of time with the power of the divine universe have the aura of the myriad world's divine Sunday, the law enforcement world king said. The law enforcement realm king was once one of the strongest in the divine wilderness, so his judgment in this aspect was very accurate. Ba Taiyin said with a smile, "Don't be afraid. I'm here. Once they get close, I can kill them immediately. Law Enforcement World King, quietly release a bit of your aura to draw them over. Qin Yun said with a smile. If I were to reveal my aura, it would be too obvious. Great Divine Lord would be suspicious. Great Divine Lord had been tricked by Qin Yun before. Although it was a clone this time, he would still be extremely careful. After all, that clone was also very precious. The Law Enforcement World King immediately did as he was told and released his aura. This aura quickly spread out. There was a medium-sized city in front of them, but more than half of it had been destroyed. It was afternoon, and the 7 myriad worlds' divine suns in the sky were still very strong. The light that shone down shrouded the sky above the smoke-filled city. Not long after, a group of people rushed out of the smoke and dust. Waves of smoke and dust were stirred up as they surged and churned. The Great Divine King formation brought along 4 cat-eared people and more than 10 people wearing black armor as they flew over. Their speed was extremely fast, and their aura was aggressive. Law Enforcement Realm King, you bastard, I will definitely kill you this time. When the Great Divine Lord sensed the Law Enforcement Realm King's aura, he immediately rushed out. The Law Enforcement Realm King had betrayed the Great Divine Lord. This had angered the Great Divine Lord to death, so the Great Divine Lord had always wanted to kill the Law Enforcement Realm King. Qin Yun asked Ba Tian to hide his aura so that he wouldn't scare the cat-eared people away. The Great Divine Lord had a clone, so he might not be afraid of death. However, those cat-eared people might not be. Before the Great Divine Lord even got close, he could see from afar that there was an incomparably handsome man beside the Law Enforcement Realm King who was floating in the air. It was Qin Yun. When he saw Qin Yun, the Great Divine Lord was astonished. Of course, he knew that the Law Enforcement Realm King had pledged his allegiance to Qin Yun. However, he never expected that Qin Yun would dare to appear here. From the Great Divine Lord's point of view, Qin Yun should be hiding well now. The great change that was about to occur in the Divine Desolate Land was a great danger to Qin Yun. Qin Yun, you really have guts. The Great Divine Lord sneered. What is it? Do you think you can kill me this time? Qin Yun said with a smile. Great Divine Lord, you're doing pretty well. You have such a strong lackey. When the cat-eared people behind the Great Divine Lord heard this, they immediately flew into a rage. They wanted to attack Qin Yun, but they were stopped by the Great Divine Lord. Qin Yun, it seems like you know nothing about the current situation in the Divine Desolate Land. I need to tell you, after all, you are a little Divine King. You must know the current situation in the Divine Desolate Land. The Great Divine Lord was rather pleased with himself as he mocked. You little Divine King, you still don't know anything. How laughable. The Nanyang Lost Spirit is truly blind. Then please give me some pointers, Great Divine Lord. Qin Yun said with a smile. Qin Yun, do you know what the strongest power in this universe's master is? The Great Divine Lord asked. I don't know. Qin Yun said. Listen up. The strongest is the Great Luo Empire. It is located above the only high-level heaven-earth in this universe. All the middle-level heaven-earth in this universe also belong to the Great Luo Empire. The Divine Desolate Land is currently considered a middle-level heaven-earth, and it has the possibility of becoming a high-level heaven-earth. This naturally belongs to the Great Luo Empire. The Great Divine Lord said, Oh, have the people from the Great Luo Empire already arrived at the Divine Desolate Land? Qin Yun asked. They don't need to personally take action for such a small matter. Currently, there will be a few human kings of the middle-level heaven-earth that will arrive at the heavenly region near the Divine Desolate Land. Then, they will send a large number of people into the Divine Desolate Land to establish their kingdom. In the end, the few kingdoms will choose a treasure land and jointly build a great Luo imperial palace to welcome the members of the royal family sent by the Great Luo Empire. The Great Divine Lord said. Qin Yun looked at Tai Ba beside him. Tai Ba had previously said that the strongest upper echelons of the various universes were all ruled by the Empire. The universe where the Divine Desolate Land was located was the same. The Divine Desolate Land does not belong to anyone. What right does the great Luo Empire have to occupy the divine desolate land? Qin Yin said coldly. This is not up to you to decide. This is obtained through strength. The great Luo Empire is strong. Just this point alone is enough. If you're not convinced, then beat back the great Luo Empire. The great divine lord laughed out loud. Not to mention beating back the great Luo Empire, you can't even do anything to a few middle-level heaven-earth kingdoms. Speaking of those kingdoms, the cat-eared men beside the great divine lord all had arrogant expressions on their faces. They came from one of those kingdoms. Chapter 3044. Qin Yin now understood that the middle-grade heavenly soil that the cat-eared people resided in was probably a very large one. Furthermore, it was being supervised by the great Luo Empire's destroyers. Now that the cat-eared people's land had dried up, the great Luo Empire used them to help the great Luo Empire obtain resources. The great Luo Empire might have been asking for divine universe metal stones from the other mid-tier heavenly earths. After all, it was the strongest power in the cosmos. As for the other mid-tier heavenly earths, they were like small kingdoms and would definitely have to pay tribute. The gods' wilderness would become a high-class heavenly earth. If the Daluo Empire wanted to build an imperial palace here, the gods' wilderness might even be turned into a huge imperial city by the Daluo Empire. Qin Yun, the cat-eared man beside me, is from the exotic cat kingdom. They are one of the 7 kingdoms of this cosmos. Great Divine Lord said, "You just insulted them. Then you can bear their anger, huh?" After the Great Divine Lord laughed out loud, the cat-eared people of the strange cat kingdom immediately rushed towards Qin Yun. Tying Ba immediately arrived in front of Qin Yun, extended his hands, and grabbed the throat of the 2 cat-eared people. The cat-eared person was greatly shocked. Sharp claws appeared on her hands and swiped at Ba Tien ferociously, but they were blocked by Ba Tien's silver armor. What was shocking was that the claws of these 2 cat-eared people at the 9th level of the divine space realm could not even leave a scratch on Ba Tien's armor. Tyrant Ba was wearing armor and a mask. It was impossible to tell that he was a blue-skinned person. You've surpassed the 9th level of the divine space realm? Are you from the Empire? One of the cat-eared people was panic-stricken. He could feel the formidable aura of the divine universe, heavenly bone, on Ba Tien's body. If a divine universe, heavenly bone, reached this level, then it was likely that it came from an empire. Even if it didn't surpass the 9th level of the divine universe realm, it was still something that the 9th level of the divine universe realm of other kingdoms could not compare with. The cat-eared people were indeed from an empire, but not the great Luo Empire, but the great Blue Empire. Why should I answer the questions of trash like you? Tyrant Ba coldly sneered. He grasped out, and a powerful divine, universe, heavenly bone energy wave erupted from his body. Voila! The necks of the 2 cat-eared people were torn off by Ba Tien. The law enforcement realm king was dumbfounded. The strength of the 2 cat-eared people was extremely powerful, even when compared to the 9th-tier divine universe realm of the heaven-splitting ancient clan. But now, their heads have been beheaded by Tying Ba. Qin Yun is also quite frightened. He knew that Ba Tien is very awesome, but he did not expect his strength to be so terrifying. No wonder Wang Mingtai could only use poisonous insects to deal with Ba Tien. If they fought head-on, Wang Mingtai would not be his match. It seemed that this Tying Ba was not an ordinary person. Even if his birth did not surpass the divine space realm, with his current strength, he should not be considered weak in the Empire, right? What struck Qin Yun the most was that Tying Ba always said that his family of 4 were trash. Although Tying Ba mocked himself as trash, he was born in an empire after all. A 9th-tier divine space realm expert from a small kingdom was indeed trash in his eyes. The great divine lord was so shocked that his jaw nearly dislocated. He had originally thought that he could do whatever he wanted in the god-desolate land with a few big shots of the kingdom by his side. He could be tyrannical. He never expected that not long after he was arrogant, he would be ruthlessly slapped in the face. The 2 strongest experts of the 9th tier of the divine space realm by his side were like grasshoppers. They were easily beheaded and a long intestine was dragged out. After Qin Yun recovered from his shock, he immediately kept the bodies of the two cat-eared people. Although they were trash from the kingdom, they had divine universe, heavenly bones in their bodies. They could be sold for divine universe metal stones. Right now, he couldn't wait for more of this kind of kingdom trash. They were all walking divine universe metal stones. Big brother, when did you come to the Empire? Why didn't we know? Behind the great divine lord, there was a cat-eared person at the 8th level of the divine space realm who was trembling in fear. At this moment, the great divine lord's heart also turned cold. He knew that when he met Qin Yun, he would stumble again. Every time he met Qin Yun, he would not have a good ending. Are you worthy of calling me big brother? Tying Ba angrily rebuked and instantly appeared in front of the cat-eared person. He grabbed the head of the cat-eared person and ruthlessly smashed it. Boom! The heads collided with each other like two watermelons colliding. It was a tragic sight. Qin Yun's heart ached. Those were all divine universe heavenly bones. Wouldn't be good to shatter them. Tying fought the 8th level of the divine space realm like he was fighting insects. With 2 or 3 moves, he turned the opponent into a meat patty. Another cat-eared person at the 8th level of the divine space realm died. He had quite a few divine universe heavenly bones on his body, but he still died. There was only one cat-eared person left, and he was at the 7th level of the divine space realm. This cat-eared person was so scared that he immediately begged for mercy. Leave him behind. I have something to ask him. Qin Yun shouted. Yes. Tai nodded. The cat-eared person immediately wept bitterly and floated in the air to thank Qin Yun. Cripple him first, Qin Yun said again. The cat-eared person who was kneeling down immediately cursed. Tyne walked over and directly crushed the divine universe within the cat-eared person's body. This guy, just twist off his head. Qin Yun pointed at the great divine lord and said, his body is not bad. I plan to give it to the law enforcement realm king. Qin Yun, fuck your grandpa. Just you wait. I will definitely bring the Empire's experts to capture you and kill you. The great divine lord cursed. As the great divine lord cursed, he also frantically fled. However, he was shaken down by Taine's loud roar. Taine walked over and grabbed the great divine lord's head. With a forceful pull, his head was torn off. There were more than 10 other accomplices brought by the great divine lord. They were also beaten to the ground by Taine's loud roars and then trampled to death one by one. These guys were born in a middle-grade heavenly earth. They have quite a few divine universe heavenly bones on them. Qin Yun smiled as he walked over. He opened his heavenly eye and saw many divine universe heavenly bones. Brother Ba, I'll give you half of the profits from these divine universe heavenly bones, Qin Yun said with a smile. He gave the great divine lord's powerful avatar to the law enforcement realm king and told him to return to the heaven's secret sect. There's no need for that. We don't need divine universe metal stones right now, and we don't need to break through. If we surpass the 9th level of the divine space realm, we won't be able to stay in the divine desolate. Tyne laughed. Next, Qin Yun wanted to interrogate the only remaining cat-eared person. If the cat-eared person wanted to build a kingdom in the divine desolate, they would definitely occupy a large piece of land. Qin Yun wanted to ask this cat-eared person how much he knew about the strange cat kingdom. The most important thing was Malur and why she was targeted by the great Luo Empire's destroyer. Ever since he met Malur last time, Qin Yun didn't dare to let her out. He also didn't know if the destroyer was still in the divine desolate. Although he was already restricted from entering the divine desolate, he didn't dare to take the risk before he could figure it out. You will all be finished, especially you. The cat-eared person looked at Qin Yun and cursed. You are the successor appointed by the divine desolate Nine-Yang Law Spirit. The great Luo Empire will definitely exterminate you. Chapter 3045. A complete copy update the latest chapter of the Nine Sons Divine King as soon as possible. Qin Yun is rather surprised that the cat-eared person actually knew of the relationship between him and the Nine-Yang Dharma Spirit. Even Qin Yun himself did not know that he was the successor of the nine Yang Dharma spirit. Speak clearly. Why does the great Luo Empire want to exterminate me? Asked Qin Yun. You've already destroyed the divine universe within my body. I'm no different from a cripple. I might as well just die. I will never tell you what you want to know. The cat-eared man had a stubborn look on his face as he said with a hideous smile, Qin Yun, since you've been targeted by the great Luo Empire, you're destined to die. Huh? Qin Yun had many ways to make the cat-eared man speak. He only smiled and began torturing the cat-eared man. But it wasn't long before the cat-eared person begged, I was wrong. I'll tell you everything. If you had said so earlier, wouldn't everything have been fine? Qin Yun said with a smile, Look at you. Did you suffer all that pain for nothing? The cat-eared man wanted to cry, but no tears came out. In his eyes, Qin Yun was the great evil demon. He never expected that the lowly slut in front of him would have so many tortures that made him wish he were dead. Ask away. I'll tell you everything I know. The cat-eared man didn't even dare to look at Qin Yun. Qin Yun was an incomparably handsome man, especially when he smiled. He was infinitely charming. However, when the cat-eared man saw Qin Yun smile, he couldn't help but shiver, because when he was being tortured by Qin Yun before, Qin Yun also had this kind of harmless smile. How did you know that I am related to the nine Yang Law spirit? Qin Yun asked. That's what Great King Yang said just now. That guy said he's some great god king. His surname is Yang, and his name is Great King, said the cat-ear. Great Divine Lord. This guy knew that his title as the Great Divine Lord was nothing in the eyes of the middle and upper echelons, so he gave himself such a name. This reminded Qin Yun of a good brother of his, Morong Darren. He often used his own name to take advantage of others. Did he say that the great Luo Empire is targeting me? Asked Qin Yun. This is what our king said. The cat-eared person said, You are a special human created by the deity Desolate's nine sons Dharma spirit. You will receive the nine sons Dharma spirit's legacy cultivation method. This cultivation method is mainly used to cultivate the divine son. Once you master this cultivation method, you will definitely become a threat to the Daluo Empire. Qin Yun was secretly alarmed. He had already obtained the cultivation technique. It was the divine Yang cultivation technique that Grand Prime had gotten him to enter the nine Yang divine temple's miracle to obtain. He knew that the divine sun cultivation technique was very powerful, but he had not expected that it would be able to threaten the powerful upper echelons of the Daluo Empire. However, he was still unable to comprehend the divine Yang cultivation technique. Although Mo had obtained it, she didn't understand it herself. On the other hand, Yang had grasped it bit by bit and would occasionally enter the divine universe purple sun to cultivate. How can you determine whether or not I have obtained the nine Yang Law Spirit's legacy? Qin Yun asked with a frown. The nine Yang Dharma Spirit has never communicated with me. I have always wanted to ask it many things. We have a special method that can sense the connection between you and the nine Yang Law Spirit. It's not us, it's the Daluo Empire. Their destroyer specializes in this kind of thing. The cat-eared man said. The nine Yang Law Spirit had previously told Qin Yun that it did not contact him because there was a mysterious and powerful fellow secretly monitoring them in order to protect Qin Yun. However, even so, the nine Yang Law Spirit had still contacted Qin Yun a few times, but it seemed like it had not been monitored. This meant that the nine Yang Law Spirit had a way to prevent it, but it could not guarantee that it could prevent others from eavesdropping. For safety reasons, it tried its best not to contact Qin Yun. Are those destroyers still in the Divine Desolate? Qin Yun was still rather afraid. The destroyer was truly powerful. Batayan was strong enough, but against the destroyer, he might not even be able to withstand 2 moves. No, they don't dare to continue staying in the Divine Desolate. The nine Yang Law Spirit's biggest concession was to allow the Daluo Empire and our other kingdoms to send people at the 9th level of the Divine Space Realm, so that we can also obtain the resources of the Divine Desolate. If they exceed the 9th level of the Divine Space Realm, the nine Yang Law Spirit might destroy the Divine Desolate and perish together with us. The cat-eared man said again. The Daluo Empire is unable to seal the Nine-Yang Law Spirit? Qin Yun felt somewhat puzzled because the Taishu and the other bloodline heavenly pattern boxes all had many small universes, so they should be very powerful. Yet they were sealed. The Nine-Yang Law Spirit only had 7 myriad realms divine suns. The Daluo Empire could seal the Taishu and those small universes back then, so why couldn't they seal the Nine-Yang Law Spirit? The myriad realms divine suns, divine moon, and divine desolate are currently in a special space. This space is located at the intersection of many universes. If the Daluo Empire tries to seal them, the Nine-Yang Law Spirit will make all the myriad realms divine suns explode and break the spatial barrier of many universes, connecting them together. The cat-eared man said. Ba said in shock, if that's the case, then this universe is doomed. The resources of the other universes are far inferior to the one divine desolate is in. At that time, many empires will invade and a war will break out. The Daluo Empire will not have peace. Now that there was a powerful spatial barrier, it would be very difficult for anyone from the outerverse to enter the Nine Suns' Holy Land. Anyone who tried to enter from the Nine Suns' Holy Land would be sealed within, and it would be very risky for powerful outerverse people to pass through that passage. The passage in the Nine Suns' sacred ground is very unstable, mainly because the Nine-Yang Law Spirit would occasionally make the passage fluctuate. When the barbarian aliens came through the passage, more than half of them died and were eventually turned into energy for the Nine-Yang Law Spirit to absorb. Qin Yun now admired the Nine-Yang Law Spirit even more. It actually chose such a crafty location to create the myriad realms divine suns, divine desolate, and divine moon. This way, the Daluo Empire can only compromise with the Nine-Yang Law Spirit and not act blindly without thinking. But with the Daluo Empire's ability, they will definitely come up with a good plan in the future. At that time, it might be the end of the Nine-Yang Law Spirit. When will the Daluo Empire send people over? Qin Yun asked. The cat-eared man looked at Ba. He originally thought that Ba was from the Daluo Empire, but now it seems that is not the case. Otherwise, Qin Yun would not be so ignorant. When we finish building the Imperial Palace, they will come. The Daluo Empire's imperial family is high above us. They are here to rule the divine desolate. Before that, it will be us, the kingdoms, who sweep away all the obstacles, the cat-eared man said. Are you kingdoms really that afraid of the Daluo Empire? Are you willing to be their lackeys? Qin Yun wanted a rope in these kingdoms and use them to resist the Daluo Empire. The conflicts between kingdoms run deep, the cat-eared woman said. You could even say that wars have broken out between almost every kingdom, and all of those wars were instigated by the Daluo Empire. We all know that, but there's nothing we can do. Chapter 3046. A complete copy update the latest chapter of the Nine Suns Divine King as soon as possible. The Daluo Empire might not have treated these kingdoms as their lackeys, but they had been suppressing their growth. For example, the Great Luo Empire had allowed them to come to the God's wilderness on the condition that they build a super emperor city. The Daluo Empire wouldn't care about anything else. The enmity between the kingdoms was very deep. After they built the super emperor city, they would definitely continue to fight in the deity desolate. With the power of the kingdom, they would definitely be able to rope in all the powerful races in the divine wilderness and then get involved in the war. In this way, the living beings in the divine wilderness would die in large numbers in the war. The Daluo Empire wouldn't act directly. Instead, they would use a method that was within the rules to suppress and restrict the growth of the lower and middle-level living beings. The Daluo Empire would only be able to make a move if a middle or lower-level living being managed to break through the suppression. The Daluo Empire was the only upper echelon of this universe. They were high and mighty and rarely took action. What they loved to do the most was to set up a variety of rules and then use the power of the rules to suppress other parties. They wanted all living beings in the universe to live according to the rules they had set up. Previously, there was a group of your cat-eared people who joined hands with the great divine Lord to snatch a mine. Those cat-eared people were eventually killed by the destroyer. Do you know about this? Qin Yun asked. I do. How do you know about this? The cat-eared person was a little surprised. Because I saw it with my own eyes. I was nearby at that time. I heard those cat-eared people say that the destroyer was here to capture a little girl. They also said that the little girl had appeared in the Nine Suns sacred land. Qin Yun asked, do you know what kind of little girl she is? The cat-eared man frowned and said, previously, there was indeed a group of destroyers in the divine wasteland looking for that little girl, but they still couldn't find her. Now they have no choice but to leave. I wonder if they will come after the little girl appears. This will anger the Nine-Yang Law spirit. What kind of last would make the great Luo Empire send out so many destroyers? Asked Qin Yun. The little girl's father is a member of the imperial clan of the Daluo Empire. He and we cat-eared people gave birth to a baby girl. This infuriated the entire Daluo Empire's royal family, and the little girl's parents were captured in the end. It is said that they were tortured in the Daluo Empire for several years before dying. There are also rumors that they didn't die, the cat-eared person said. Qin Yun is very surprised that Maluru actually has such a background. The cat ears of the cat people are all black, while Maluru's are white. Moreover, she also has a heaven-defying ability. It turns out that she has the bloodline of the Luo Empire's imperial family. At this moment, Qin Yun was even more shocked by the strength of the Daluo Empire's royal family. Malur was so special. She could increase her mental power by 10 times, and she could easily crush the divine universe metal stone with her teeth. Her body was very strong, and she could easily travel through space. Was this the power of the Daluo Empire's royal bloodline? Then are they capturing the little lass to eradicate her completely? Asked Qin Yun. The royal family attaches great importance to their bloodline. They will never allow their royal family members to marry the middle and lower class people. Once discovered, no matter who it is, they must die. That little girl was very powerful. It was said that her bloodline had mutated, making her even more powerful than many members of the royal family of the Daluo Empire. Thus, she had to be destroyed to prevent her precious bloodline from being passed down to the middle and lower class. Actually, we, the middle class people, are also restricted. We are not allowed to marry the lower class people. If we are discovered, our whole family will be exterminated, said the cat-ear man. Qin Yun looked at Taiyin Ba and asked, Brother Ba, is there such a rule in your hometown? Taiyin Ba had a strange look in his eyes and said, there is also such a rule. The upper, middle, and lower class people are not allowed to marry each other. As for why, I don't know. So you are from the Outerverse Empire. The cat-ear man immediately concluded and said. Qin Yun suspected that Taiyin Ba's background might be similar to Malur's. They were both mixed blood of different races. From this, it can be seen that the power of bloodline is very important in every universe. The royal bloodline of the Daluo Empire was very powerful. It allowed a little girl like Malur to be so powerful that she could escape the pursuit of many destroyers and escape all the way to the God Desolate. After your kingdom enters the God Desolate, will they slaughter the native races? Qin Yun asked. He has always been worried about this matter. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say. After all, human nature is very complicated. The cat-ear man didn't dare to say it, because he knew that the lower-class people are like ants in their eyes. Of course, Qin Yun does not count. How many people will your exotic cat kingdom send to the God Desolate? Asked Taiyin Ba. The first batch is about 1 million. They are still flying in the universe. They will arrive soon, said the cat-ear man. Qin Yun was shocked. These 1 million cat-ear men are no higher than the 9th level of the divine space realm. In their original hometown, they should be at the bottom of the hierarchy. If there are tens of thousands of them among these 1 million cat-ear men, it will definitely bring great chaos to the God Desolate. Many of the big cities in the God Desolate will not be able to resist the powerful cat-ear men. How many are there in the ninth level of the divine space realm? Are there many? Asked Qin Yun. I'm not too sure. The ninth level of the divine space realm is relatively large in our exotic cat kingdom. The cat-ear man said, the first batch has 1,000,000, the second batch should have 2,000,000, and there will be more after that. At least 200 million cat-ear men will come to the god Desolate. At least 200 million cat-ear men. Qin Yun felt a headache when he heard that. This would definitely cause a huge change in the god Desolate. It must be known that although these cat-eared people were very useless in the exotic cat kingdom, they were born with the divine universe bone. The natives and living beings in the god Desolate could not resist them at all. Furthermore, other than the exotic cat kingdom, there were a few other kingdoms. Their numbers are definitely not small. Of course, the god Desolate was huge. Even if it could accommodate billions of people, it would not seem crowded. The most terrifying thing was that the god Desolate was still growing. It would really become a super huge heaven and earth in the future. The god Desolate is very big. Spatial teleportation is limited. The native living beings can still survive if they are scattered. The cat-ear man said, what's more, our kingdoms came to the god Desolate for resources. When the time comes, the ones who can compete with us for resources will be the other kingdoms. You mean to say that the kingdoms will fight to the bitter end, but at the same time build the great Luo Empire's imperial palace? Asked Qin Yun. Although we will build the great Luo Empire's imperial palace together, it will not stop us from fighting elsewhere. The cat-ear man said, yesterday, a few of our kingdoms worked together to do something for the empire. After we are done, we will fight to the death tomorrow. This is normal. Chapter 3047. A complete copy update, the latest chapter of the Nine Sons Divine King as soon as possible. The great Luo Empire wasn't afraid of those kingdoms allying together. However, if they acted friendly, the great Luo Empire would be displeased and think that they were allying together to rebel against the great Luo Empire. As long as the Daluo Empire existed, it would be impossible for those kingdoms to unite. Furthermore, they would have to hate each other. That way, they wouldn't be destroyed by the Daluo Empire. Qin Yun thought about it for a moment and knew that the great Luo Empire would not let those kingdoms live in peace. If there was a need, the great Luo Empire could easily unite those kingdoms. To the upper echelons of the Daluo Empire, this kind of control gave them a sense of accomplishment. The other kingdoms were angry with the Daluo Empire, but they didn't dare to say anything. The divine Desolate will be thrown into chaos by your kingdoms. As a result, you won't be able to obtain too many resources in the divine Desolate. In the end, the one who benefits the most is still the empire, said Qin Yun. The cat-eared man didn't say anything. Of course, he knew what the higher-ups of the empire were thinking. Have you never thought of joining forces? Asked Qin Yun. The cat-eared person remained silent. Of course they had thought about it before, but they had never dared to do it, much less say it out loud. If word of it got out, it would be considered treason. Ba Taiyin said, it looks like those kingdoms will definitely try to rope in the strong races of the divine wilderness after entering the divine wilderness. The divine Desolate's native strong races have large amounts of resources. If the kingdom can rope in the strong races, they can let the strong races participate in the war. This is what the Daluo Empire wants to see the most. The attitude of the Daluo Empire was clear. The death of countless people in this universe was something that the Daluo Empire would be happy about. As long as the upper echelons of the Daluo Empire did not die, it would be fine. If any living being or celestial body in the universe perished, the energy would return to the universe. Even if the energy was absorbed by the middle and lower classes, the middle and lower classes would still perish in the future, and the energy would return to the universe again. If one wanted to possess the power of an upper-class person, they would need to gather a huge amount of energy from the universe. There is a limit to the energy in the universe. If a large number of upper echelons appeared, then the resources would definitely not be enough. If the Daluo Empire didn't have enough resources, and if there were other foreigners with similar strength, then the Daluo Empire would be in danger. How could it be so easy to break through the restrictions of this universe? It was already very difficult for people in the middle to rush up, let alone people in the lower ranks who had to cross 2 levels. However, the Nine-Yang Dharma Spirit was able to create a high-grade environment like the Heaven's Divine Desolate. Now, Qin Yun increasingly felt that the Nine-Yang Dharma Spirit was very powerful. Do you know where the Great Divine Lord is? I must exterminate this bastard. Qin Yun asked. He's now loyal to our exotic cat kingdom. This guy's a little special. He has a celestial divine son in his body, and we want to study it. That's why we gave him good treatment. The cat said, if you want to kill him, you'll have to go to the exotic cat kingdom's exotic cat royal city in the deity Desolate. Can anyone enter? Asked Qin Yun. Apart from us, the cat-eared people, who can enter and leave freely, anyone else will have to obtain permission to enter. It will be very difficult for you people to enter. The cat-eared person shook her head. Take us to the strange cat royal city. Qin Yun had already decided to end the Great Divine Lord now. Great Divine Lord, this bastard, if he didn't get rid of him quickly, if he used the heavenly universe divine son's heart well, the consequences would be unimaginable. The cat-eared person could only bring Qin Yun and Tyrant Ba to exotic Cat King City. If he didn't, he would be tortured. In a secret conference hall in the ancient garden city, many elders and clan leaders of the heaven-splitting ancient clan had gathered to discuss important matters. The 7 great kingdoms have arrived one after another. You ancient clans patriarch sighed. We can't control deity Desolate. Nine Sun Lost Spirit has reached an agreement with them to let them enter deity Desolate and obtain its resources. Dragon ancient clans patriarch said. Then will they start a massacre in deity Desolate? Taiweg Granny said with frown. I don't know. In short, deity Desolate is about to undergo a great change. This land is no longer our paradise. Great Luo Empire will occupy it forever. Heavenly Moon ancient clans patriarch is very unwilling. They won't even let our deity Heaven's Divine Moon go. They want to build a city in deity Heaven's Divine Moon. Yuli Fawn hastily asked, then what about you, Xian? Did they request to enter Moon Core? Heavenly Moon ancient clans patriarch shook his head. Entering Moon Core is not something we can decide. That's Little Lost Spirit's decision. Little Lost Spirit definitely won't agree to it. Great Luo Empire knows that too, so they don't plan to enter Moon Core for now. But it's hard to say in the future. Then what will our heaven-splitting ancient clan do? Xiao Qihong asked. Great Luo Empire did not pursue our wrongdoings. They even praised us for our diligent efforts in destroying large numbers of divine sons over the years. They even want to reward us by allowing us to establish a kingdom and allow us to enter the middle level. But there's a condition. Xiao Qihong looked at everyone and said, only the patriarch attended the meeting hosted by Great Luo Empire. The other heaven-opening ancient clan elders only found out about the meeting now. Many heaven-opening ancient clan elders were excited to know that they could enter the middle level. But they quickly calmed down. Great Luo Empire had a condition, and it was definitely not simple. What condition? Xiao Qihong asked. It won't cost us too much, right? The first condition is that we must keep our distance from Nine Sun Lost Spirit. We must not help Nine Sun Lost Spirit fight against Great Luo Empire. The second condition is that we must hand over a portion of the Divine Universe Goldstones we obtain from the Divine Wilderness to the Great Luo Empire. The third condition is that we must capture a little girl and hand her over to the Great Luo Empire. They will inform us of any information about this little girl. The fourth condition is also the last condition. Qin Clan Elder sighed, but did not say it out loud. It was clearly difficult. What's the fourth condition? Xiao Hong asked. We must capture Qin Yun and hand him over to the Great Luo Empire. The Great Luo Empire did not ask us to capture Qin Yun and hand him over to them within a certain period of time. They only want us to agree that once we capture Qin Yun, we must hand him over to the Great Luo Empire, Qin Clan Elders said. The heaven-opening ancient clan elders looked at each other and frowned. They could accept the first few conditions, but the last one was a little difficult for them. Qin Yun was recognized by Nine Sun Lost Spirit, which took good care of the heaven-opening ancient clan. Nine Sun Lost Spirit had helped the heaven-opening ancient clan return from the Outerverse. But now, they wanted to capture Qin Yun and hand him over to the Great Luo Empire. Wasn't that ungrateful? Furthermore, Xiao Qihong was Qin Yun's master. There were also a few other heaven-opening ancient clan elders who had a good relationship with Qin Yun. Chapter 3048. A complete copy update, the latest chapter of the Nine Sons Divine King as soon as possible. Patriarch Qin said, I think very highly of Qin Yun. Therefore, this condition puts us in a difficult position. What if we agree? Xiao Qihong asked. It doesn't matter if we don't agree. We won't be able to establish a kingdom, and we won't be able to break through the ranks. Qin family head said, Nine Sun Lost Spirit told us to take good care of Qin Yun. We cannot be ungrateful, the Dragon Clan leader said. The other clan leaders nodded repeatedly. Although capturing Qin Yun would allow them to obtain great benefits, it would also betray the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit. Keeping a distance from the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit and not helping the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit against the Daluo Empire was nothing, as the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit had never expected the Heaven-Splitting Clan to fight against the Daluo Empire. At that moment, the elders of the Heaven-Splitting Clan were in a difficult position. There was an opportunity right before their eyes that could allow them to survive the Great Change. Moreover, after the Great Change, they could undergo a new transformation and break through the ranks. They could become members of the middle class and not be suppressed by the Daluo Empire. Just as they were feeling helpless, a voice suddenly entered the secret meeting room. I am the Nine Sons Dharma Spirit. Agree to the Daluo Empire's 4 conditions. The Great Luo Empire only asked you to capture Qin Yun. They didn't tell you when to capture Qin Yun. This means that the Great Luo Empire only told you not to protect Qin Yun, the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit said. Fa Ling, why did you abandon Qin Yun? Asked Patriarch Qin in astonishment. There's no need to give up. Qin Yun is not as weak as you think. Just keep your distance from him in the future. Also, I'll tell him about this so that he won't hate you. If you were to be hated by this brat, you will be out of luck. Nine Yang Lost Spirit laughed and said, Many of the seniors of the ancient Heaven-Splitting Clan did not believe it, but they recalled how Wang Mingtai had died. He had indeed been tortured by Qin Yun. For Qin Yun to be chosen by the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit, he must have obtained some kind of inheritance from the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit. He might even be very powerful. Fa Ling, what will happen to gods desolate in the future? Will a large number of powerful races die tragically? Dragon Clan Chief asked. I will try my best to have the other strong races merge into your kingdom. The Nine Yang Dharma Spirit said, No matter what, all of you are representing the divine wilderness. Perhaps you can minimize the casualties of the divine wilderness. What about the Nine Suns Sacred Ground? Are we still going to defend the Nine Suns Sacred Ground? The Yang Clan leader asked. There's no need to defend anymore. Move the sects away. I want to close the Nine Suns Sacred Grounds barrier. The Nine Yang Lost Spirit said. Next, the matter of resisting the barbarians from the outer universe will be handed over to the kingdom and the Daluo Empire. You all just have to grow in peace. The seniors of the Heaven-Splitting Ancient Clan exclaimed. The barbarians from the outer universe were extremely terrifying, and there might even be people who surpassed the 9th tier of the divine space realm who broke through the restrictions and entered through the passageway. At that time, it will be dangerous. Don't worry. The Daluo Empire and the other kingdoms will be able to hold them off. There are so many divine universe goldstones in the Nine Sun Sacred Ground. They will go in even if they have to risk their lives, said the Nine Sun Dharma Spirit with a smile. What about inside the myriad world's divine yang? Will the Luo Empire interfere? U-Clan leader was a little worried. They don't dare. This is my bottom line. If they don't have absolute confidence, they won't dare to fight me to the death. The ancient garden city will remain within the 7th divine sun. You can enter at any time and interact with the other Outerverse members, the Dharma Spirit said. Dharma Spirit, Should we give Qin Yun a little more help at this time? Xiao Qi Hong asked. For example, get him a lot of Divine Universe Goldstones. This kid seems to be lacking Divine Universe Goldstones. The Dharma spirit smiled. There's no need to give it to him. Let him think of a way to get it himself. Don't worry about him. I'm not even worried about him. So why are you so anxious? Everyone is somewhat speechless. It is said that Qin Yun is acknowledged by the Nine Yang Dharma spirit. Now, it seems that Qin Yun is just a wild child in the eyes of the Nine Yang Dharma spirit. It is indifferent to Qin Yun, completely letting him be. Then, can our clan's girls get in touch with this kid? Yu clan leader asked embarrassedly, because Imperial Demon Yao and Qin Yun had a good relationship. Moreover, they could not guarantee that Qin Yun would not get involved with the women of the heaven-splitting ancient clan in the future. Haha, you should ask the Daluo Empire. Why are you asking me? The Dharma spirit said with mischievous laugh. This kid Qin Yun has a very good affinity with women. It won't be strange if he gets involved with your heaven-splitting ancient clan's girls in the future. Not to mention your heaven-splitting ancient clan, maybe even the imperial family's girls of the Daluo Empire will be taken care of by him. Many of the elders of the heaven-splitting ancient clan became speechless again. The Dharma spirit said again, I have been keeping an eye on this kid Qin Yun since he was born. I did not give him much help. I only gave him a very mystical appearance to make it easier for him to conquer women. Everyone became speechless again. They suddenly felt that it is necessary to keep an eye on the girls of their clan so that they won't be harmed by Qin Yun. Dharma spirit, is this the only help you gave Qin Yun? Dragon clan leader does not believe it. Isn't this enough? He relied on his face to conquer the nine-sun divine maiden. She has been helping him grow for many years. Otherwise, how could he be so good? The Dharma spirit said with smile. Xiao Yuelon and Xiao Yueme are both nine-sun divine maiden. Their potential is very great. In the future, they will surely step into the upper echelons. All right, you all agree to Great Luo Empire's conditions and peacefully build up your kingdom. You don't need to worry about Divine Desolate for now. Properly grow up. The Dharma spirit said in a very relaxed manner. The meeting ended. All the clan leaders left for deep space to meet Great Luo Empire's emissary. Qin Yun and Ba Taiyin followed behind the cat-eared man and flew towards Strange Cat Royal City. Suddenly, Nine Sun Dharma Spirit's voice appeared in Qin Yun's mind. Brat, you are in big trouble, the Dharma Spirit said with a sigh. What big trouble? Don't scare me. Qin Yun suddenly stopped and floated in the air. You have been targeted by Great Luo Empire, the Dharma Spirit said. Soon after, it told Qin Yun about the 4 conditions of the heaven-splitting ancient clan. After Qin Yun learned about the meeting, he immediately felt deep veneration for the heaven-splitting ancient clan. Originally, they did not want to agree to the 4th condition of Great Luo Empire. I made them agree, don't hate them, the Dharma Spirit said. I don't hate. If it were me, I would also make them agree. Qin Yun said with a smile, don't talk about them. Even Great Luo Empire can forget about catching me. Brat Qin, you will have to rely on yourself from now on. You must not return to the Divine Sun. You won't be able to go in. I can't let you go in. You will harm the Nine-Sun Divine Maiden. The Dharma Spirit said, I know. Qin Yun also made this kind of preparation. Yu Shangyun also sensed it. That's why she followed him out. I have a way to help you get through this crisis, the Dharma Spirit said. Chapter 3049. Qin Yun thought that the Nine-Yang Law Spirit would no longer contact him. He never expected that it would suddenly contact him at this time and tell him such an important matter. Nine-Yang Law Spirit, I heard that the Great Luo Empire has been monitoring your movements. They want to know if you want to pass your cultivation to me. Qin Yun reminded the Nine-Yang Law Spirit. I know. I told you before the reason why I didn't contact you. The Nine-Yang Law Spirit chuckled and said, You know that the Great Luo Empire is monitoring my movements. It seems that you understand the current situation quite a bit. I just happen to know a little bit. I don't know the specifics. Qin Yun continued flying and followed the cat-eared man towards the Strange Cat King City with Ba Taiyin. The Nine-Yang Law spirit seemed to know where Qin Yin was going and asked, "Are you heading towards the strange Cat King city?" "Yes, what's wrong?" Qin Yin asked. "The great divine lord is in a strange Cat King city. Are you going to find him?" The Nine-Yang Law spirit laughed. "Are you so determined to kill the great divine lord? If I don't eliminate this guy, he'll cause me a lot of trouble in the future because he understands me better and the great Luo Empire has their eyes on me." Qin Yin said, "If the great Luo Empire wanted to capture Qin Yin, the great divine lord would definitely come up with a plan. Maybe he would even be personally responsible." The great divine lord knew that the law enforcement realm king was loyal to Qin Yin. He could even see that the Sun Een race, Moon Season City, and the Heaven Secret Sect were all somewhat strange. If he wanted to attack Qin Yin in the future, he would definitely attack from the law enforcement realm and the Heaven Secret Sect. The Moon Season City had already been destroyed by the great divine lord's instigation, cutting off the source of Qin Yun's divine universe golden stone. "I said before that I have a way to help you survive this crisis," the Nine-Yang Law spirit said, "but I can't tell you directly. I'm afraid that it will be leaked." "Then how are you going to tell me?" Qin Yun asked. The Nine-Yang Law spirit also wanted to ensure that nothing went wrong, so he could not directly tell Qin Yun to prevent others from eavesdropping. The communication between the Nine-Yang Law spirit and Qin Yun should be through spatial transmission. Now, the divine desolate space is controlled by the Great Luo Empire, so the Great Luo Empire definitely has a way to eavesdrop. "Stay where you are and release the Nine-Yang Heaven-Raising Pagoda. I'll send someone to find you," the Nine-Yin said. Qin Yin greeted Ba Taiyin, then landed on the ground and took out the Nine-Sun Heaven-Raising Pagoda. After the Nine-Sun Sky-Raising Pagoda appeared, a beam of light shot out from the top of the pagoda from time to time. That was probably a signal. Qin Yun and Taiyin Ba landed at the top of the pagoda. The cat-eared man did not know what Qin Yun wanted to do. Qin Yun waited for a long time. It took an entire day and night before he sensed someone approaching. Ba Taiyin's mental power is stronger, so he sensed it earlier than Qin Yun. "Mr. Qin, the man isn't very strong," Ba Taiyin said. "He should be one of us. I am waiting for him," Qin Yun said. Batty nodded, but he did not let down his guard. It was noon, and the sun was shining brightly in the sky. A middle-aged man quickly flew over. When Qin Yun saw this middle-aged man, he was very surprised. The middle-aged man was one of the elders of the Sun Dragon race that Qin Yun was very familiar with, young Dragon Lingyu. "Elder Lingyu, long time no see. You have become very strong," Qin Yun exclaimed in admiration. Not only young Dragon Lingyu's cultivation is high, he also has some divine universe heavenly bone in his body. The Sun Dragon race is inside the ancestral divine sun. It is very normal for them to become stronger. Moreover, they still have to fight against the descendants of the divine sun. "Little brother Qin, Nine Sun's lost spirit told me to give this to you," young Dragon Lingyu said with smile and handed over a letter to Qin Yun. "Elder Lingyu has worked hard," Qin Yun said with smile. "It's nothing, I still have things to do, so I'll be leaving first. Goodbye." Young Dragon Lingyu immediately left. Qin Yun opened the letter. There are many densely packed runes on it. He doesn't know what kind of runes they are. However, after Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye, he saw a large number of messy runes. All of them are white. Only a few are black. Soon after, he began to rearrange those black runes and obtained many characters. The content written on it is the method that Nine Sun's lost spirit told Qin Yun to get through this crisis. It is not to let him fight against Great Luo Empire. After all, with Qin Yun's current strength, he is not Great Luo Empire's opponent. Nine Sun's lost spirit would not let him do this kind of dangerous thing. After Qin Yun finished reading the letter, he immediately burned it and cursed Nine Sun's lost spirit in his heart. Then he took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal to contact Nine Sun's lost spirit, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not contact it. The content of the letter caused Qin Yun to feel very speechless. Nine Sun's lost spirit told Qin Yun that as long as he can smoothly find that woman, he can temporarily get through this crisis. Even if Great Luo Empire makes a fierce move against him, As long as he has that woman's protection, he will be fine for the time being. What kind of method is this? You want me to sell my body? This bastard Nine Sons lost spirit even said that my appearance is meticulously polished by it. As long as I use it a bit, I will be very attractive to women. Qin Yun doesn't believe it at all. He always believed that the reason why women like him are fond of him is because of his personal charm. It has nothing to do with his appearance. Because over the years, it is not like there are no women who oppose him. There are even a few women who almost destroyed him, for example, that love goddess. Could this be true? Thinking about it carefully, I seem to be quite liked by women. Qin Yun recalled his own experience. Sometimes, he is not the one who takes the initiative. It is always the women who take the initiative. Nine Sons' lost spirit did not say what to do with that woman. It only told him to find that woman and then think of a way to gain her trust. That way, he can temporarily get through this crisis. Qin Yun does not feel that he will be in any danger. Great Luo Empire has their eyes on him, but it is still very difficult to find him in the Divine Desolate unless he has the help of the Great Divine King. Therefore, his next step is to find the Great Divine King and kill him. Let's continue to the Strange Cat King's city. Qin Yun stored away the Nine Sons' heaven-raising pagoda and continued on his way. The cat-eared man was sent flying by Ba Taiyin and can no longer fly. It was Ba Taiyin who grabbed him and flew slowly. Cat-eared man, is there a Phoenix Kingdom among the 7 great kingdoms? Qin Yun asked. What is the background of the Phoenix Queen of the Phoenix Kingdom? Is she related to the great Luo Empire's imperial family? The cat-eared man is startled and said, Uncle Qin, how do you know about the Phoenix Kingdom? I don't know much. I only know that the Phoenix Queen might have some relationship with the great Luo Empire's imperial family. Qin Yun said, there is a rumor that the Phoenix Queen is the sister of the great Luo Empire's emperor. As for whether it is true or not, I am not too sure. However, the Phoenix Kingdom once fought with the great Luo Empire's army, but in the end, the Phoenix Kingdom did not suffer any punishment. This matter is quite famous. That is why people are suspicious. The cat-eared man said. Chapter 3050. Ba Taiyin, who was flying while holding the cat-eared man, said in surprise, a kingdom fighting against an empire and not being destroyed? With Daluo Empire's power, it would be easy to flatten a kingdom. Taiyin Ba came from the Great Blue Empire, so he knew the empire's power very well. Qin Yun felt that these empires should not exist, but the divine court of myriad worlds led by the 9 Yang Dharma spirit. This was a more civilized way of management, but the divine court of myriad worlds was too weak. That's why Phoenix Kingdom's Phoenix Queen has a mysterious background. That's why there are rumors that she is related to Daluo, Celestial Emperor. There are also rumors that Phoenix Queen and Daluo, Celestial Emperor, are half-siblings. Phoenix Queen's mother is of the lower middle class. This made Taiyin Ba even more shocked. Empire's royalty could not marry people of other levels. If such a thing happened, they would be tortured to death. For example, Maluru's parents were tortured, and even Maluru's parents were taken back by her. Phoenix Queen had the Daluo royal bloodline. Not only was she fine, she even became the queen of a kingdom. Daluo, Celestial Emperor's father, was the previous Celestial Emperor of Daluo Empire. He abdicated for some unknown reason. Qin Yun found it strange. How did the 9 Yang Dharma spirit know the secrets of Daluo Empire's royalty? Why was the 9 Yang Dharma spirit so gossipy? It actually knew about the faraway Daluo Empire. Qin Yun did not know why the 9 Yang Dharma spirit wanted to seek Phoenix Queen's trust. But from the letter, he could tell that the 9 Yang Dharma spirit wanted him to sell his body and become Phoenix Queen's man. Taisher had recently been researching the Yu clan heavenly talisman. Xiao Qihong had given Qin Yun the entire set of Yu clan heavenly talismans. Qin Yun counted the divine universe goldstones he had. It was about 700 billion, enough for him to hide and grow wretchedly. So he felt that the 9 Yang Dharma spirit's method was useless. He had already decided not to woo Phoenix Queen. After all, He was the godly king of divine wilderness. He should have some dignity. If he really lived under Phoenix Queen's skirt, he would be laughed at by Daluo Empire. Qinyan now knew how difficult it was to be a godly king. If he did not trample on those kingdoms and Daluo Empire, he would not be able to bring the myriad world's divine court to greater heights. He would become a joke. Maybe even the 9-yang Dharma spirit would be sealed by Daluo Empire. Is the Phoenix Queen beautiful? Does she look young and beautiful? Qinyan suddenly asked. He didn't have any other thoughts. He just wanted to know if the 9-yang Dharma spirit was tricking him, making him chase after an unsightly, strange-looking old queen. The number one beauty of the origin Luo Empire is Princess Luo Shu, the most beloved daughter of the origin Luo Celestial Emperor. She and her eldest son were the Celestial Emperor's left and right arms. According to the rumors, the Phoenix Queen is even more beautiful than Princess Luo Shu, said the cat. Qin Yun felt disdain in his heart. In his eyes, no matter how beautiful she was only on the same level as his women. His women all had their own beauty. Those are just legends, said Qin Yun. This matter has spread far and wide within the Daluo Empire. However, nothing has happened to the Phoenix Queen, the princess of the White Jade Kingdom, just because someone said that she was very beautiful and could be compared to Princess Luo Shu. The princess of the White Jade Kingdom was disfigured on the 10th day of this rumor. She was poisoned and her entire body turned black. She was originally the most beautiful princess of the 7 kingdoms, but in the end, she became the ugliest. This is not a special case. My Exoticat Kingdom, Eagle Kingdom, Heavenly Horn Kingdom, all of them had similar things happen before. It was all the kingdom's royal family members that suffered the calamity, said the cat. Tien Ba frowned and said, "This is all done by that Princess Luo Shu?" The cat shook his head and said, "It shouldn't be done by the princess. Someone in the empire is protecting the princess reputation as the number one beauty of the empire. However, there are rumors that the Phoenix Queen is more beautiful than Princess Luo Shu, yet she is completely fine. So the number one beauty of the origin Luo Empire is obtained through fists." Qinyan chuckled and said, "Looks like that Princess Luo Shu is only so. The cat did not say anything. In his opinion, although this Master Qin is capable, he is just a speck of dust in front of the origin Luo Empire. Not to mention Qin Yun, even the 10 peak experts of the Exoticat Kingdom would die miserably in front of the origin Luo Empire." Qin Yun is somewhat puzzled. Why did the 9-yang Dharma spirit want him to flirt with the Phoenix Queen? The Phoenix Queen should be very strong, but she can't come to the divine wilderness. Only those at the 9th level of the divine space realm can come to the divine wilderness. Could it be that the Phoenix Queen is using other methods to come to the divine wilderness? Using avatars or something? If that is the case, then the Phoenix Queen might really be able to make a name for herself in the divine wilderness. The Phoenix Queen is not afraid of the origin Luo Empire suppression, but the other kingdoms are rather apprehensive of the Phoenix Queen. If the Phoenix Queen personally came to the divine wilderness battlefield, the other kingdoms would definitely not be a match for her. It looks like the Phoenix Queen is really a golden coattail. Should I hug her coattail or not? Forget it. I'm a dignified, godly king. I still need some dignity. Qin Yun thought to himself. But then again, the coattails of strong women are really comfortable. For example, Sister Shangyun, Yuelon, and the others. Their coattails are all very beautiful. 7 kingdoms, there are the Phoenix Kingdom, Exoticat Kingdom, Eagle Kingdom, Heavenhorn Kingdom, and White Jade Kingdom. What about the other 2? Asked Qin Yun. The other 2 are the giant Heavenly King Kingdom and the Scorpio Kingdom. The people of the Phoenix Kingdom look the same as you, Master Qin. The people of the Exoticat Kingdom have cat ears and a cat tail. The people of the Eagle Kingdom have a pair of eagle wings on their backs. The people of the Heavenhorn Kingdom have a small horn on their forehead. The people of the giant Heavenly King Kingdom are giants. The people of the Scorpio Kingdom have a human upper body and a scorpion lower body. The people of the White Jade Kingdom have skin that is like white jade. Why does it sound like the people of these kingdoms, other than the Phoenix Kingdom, are all strange? Asked Qinyan. Other than the special case of the Phoenix Kingdom, the other normal people of the middle class have been eliminated by the Origin Luo Empire. A portion of them either flowed into the Phoenix Kingdom or became slaves of the Origin Luo Empire. Of course, the people of the Origin Luo Empire are also normal people, said the cat-eared person. This made Qin Yun recall the divine wilderness of the past. There is also the difference between humans and non-humans. Now, those kingdoms also called themselves humans. The people of the Origin Luo Empire were also normal people. Why is the Origin Luo Empire doing this? Asked Qin Yun. It should be to deliberately create a racial difference between the kingdoms and the empires. It is to prevent the empire's bloodline from fusing with the kingdom's bloodline. Tying Ba said, this is because it is difficult for different races to reproduce even if they intermarry. Tying Ba, who came from the Great Blue Empire, knew the reason. It was obvious that the Blue Universe did the same. Chapter 3051. Qin Yun thought of Malheur. She had white cat ears. The cat-eared people he had seen before all had black cat ears and black tails. Do the cat-eared people of your exotic cat kingdom have black cat ears for men and black cat ears for women? Asked Qin Yun. Both men and women have black cat ears. If there are other colors, it's most likely due to a mutation caused by the bloodline of another race, said the cat-eared person. Are there cat-eared people of other colors in your exotic cat kingdom? For example, those with white cat ears. Qin Yun said, if there are, wouldn't they be treated as outliers? Of course, but there are very few outliers with white cat ears. Most of them are gray or light blue. The one who appeared with white cat ears was the little girl that the Great Luo Empire wanted to capture. The cat-eared person said in a low voice, regarding this little girl, she is very famous in our exotic cat kingdom. Tell me about it. Qin Yun said, this little girl is now in the gods desolate. In other words, the one who sees white cat ears in the future will definitely be her, right? The cat-eared person said, I can't be sure. I only know that the little girl is the only one with white cat ears in many years. She has the bloodline of the Great Luo imperial family in her body. So she became very strong and grasped shocking abilities. In the beginning, no one knew of her background. She was in a small sect called the Golden Universe sect. Because of her white cat ears, she was treated as an outlier. Everyone ostracized her. However, because they discovered that she had a special ability that allowed her to quickly find Divine Universe Goldstone, they used her until the Destroyer came knocking on their door. The Destroyer is so strong. What is the strength of that little girl? She wasn't captured by the Destroyer? Asked Qin Yun. That's what's special about that little girl. It said that there were several Destroyers back then. Those who could become Destroyers were all extraordinarily strong. Although that little girl has the bloodline of the Imperial family, she hasn't been able to obtain resources for many years. Her strength should be very weak, but she escaped. The cat-eared person sighed. Did the Destroyer deliberately go easy on her? Asked Qin Yun. The cat-eared person shook her head and said, no, those Destroyers were eventually sentenced to death by the Great Luo Empire. They definitely wouldn't go easy on her. I heard that those Destroyers were the elites of the elites. In the future, the mission of finding that little girl will fall on the heads of the Seven Kingdoms. When the Zenith Luo Emperor Palace in the Divine Wilderness is finished, the people from the Zenith Luo Empire will come to look for that girl. Qin Yun was even more surprised. Malheur was so important, which meant that this matter was definitely not simple. This made Qin Yun want to nurture Malheur and dig out her powerful potential. This made him even more determined. Of her, after Malheur became strong, she would no longer have to fear the destroyer of the Daluo Empire. The Daluo Empire wanted to capture her because of her powerful bloodline, which could threaten the Daluo Empire. After flying for 3 days straight, they finally neared the exotic cat royal city. In the distance, they could see the massive city walls and skyscrapers. Ling the city for Ling King City was not. And Yun, the city, King's city, the city was Ling 4. Only a small part of the city wall had been built, and the rest was still being built. It was evening. As Qin Yun and the others approached the city, they saw many strong people. Their bodies were covered with scars, and their hands and feet were shackled. They were carrying boulders and flying to build the city walls. The boulders they carried were as big as beds. They were slowly flying and mixed with some special sticky materials to build the city walls. These people were obviously natives of the Divine Desolate. Some of them were not even at the Divine Space Realm, but a few were. But in front of the powerful cat-eared person, they were very weak and were reduced to slaves. These people were humans who were born after the desolate god of the heavens was formed. The races that these humans belonged to had their bloodlines strengthened by the myriad worlds' divine Sunday. Therefore, after they were born, they didn't need to cultivate much. Their cultivation level was very high, directly reaching the level of Heavenly Lord. A few of them were born in the Divine Space Realm. But even so, they were still too weak compared to the upper echelons. In the mysterious Cat Kingdom, there were many people who were born in the 5th or 6th layer of the Divine Space Realm. For example, in the Great Blue Empire, those who didn't surpass the 9th layer of the Divine Space Realm were regarded as trash. The humans of the Divine Desolate were completely behind the starting line when they were still in their mother's womb. The cat-eared person was a supervisor. If they saw someone slow down, they would ruthlessly lash them with their red-hot iron whip. This infuriated Qin Yun. In the evening, the enslaved humans could finally rest for a short while. And during the rest, a group of teenagers were forced to take over the work of building the mysterious Cat Kingdom city. There were young, middle-aged, and old people enslaved. There were tens of thousands of them, and there were tens of thousands of teenagers. Even some middle-aged women and old women had 20 to 30,000. And the younger women were even more humiliated by the cat-eared people. The cat-eared people didn't rape them because they were afraid that the bloodline of the middle class would be passed down and they would be hunted down by the empire. But they liked to beat young women. Even some young girls were cruelly abused by them. Qin Yun hovered in the air and saw this scene. He was so angry that his chest almost exploded. In his anger, he could only beat the cat-eared person next to him. When the cat-eared person saw this scene, he knew that he was finished. It is unknown what secret technique he used to make his soul self-destruct. Strange Cat Kingdom, Qin Yun, will never forgive you. Qin Yun suppressed the anger in his heart. It is useless for him to be angry now. There are many 9th-level Divine Space Realm experts in Strange Cat Kingdom City. With Taiyin's own strength, he would definitely not be able to defeat them. Brother Ba, I must rescue the people of Divine Desolate. Qin Yun said, this might require a risk. Are you willing to take the risk with me? Taiyin is very clear that if he wanted to sneak into Strange Cat Kingdom City and kill the Great Divine King, it would definitely not be a problem. However, to rescue so many enslaved people of Divine Desolate is very difficult. He can't think of any possibility. Taiyin only nodded and said, I will listen to you. Even if I have to risk my life, I will definitely help you. No need to risk your life. Qin Yun took out a jade box. After opening the box, Taiyin can't help but tremble. Taiyin just thought that it was impossible to rescue the enslaved people of Divine Desolate, but now he thinks it is possible. The box in Qin Yun's hand has 2 insect nests. They're the golden poisonous insects that poison Taiyin and Li Qianxin. The 2 poisonous insects are dead, but the insect nests are still in Qin Yun's hands. Brother Ba, do you think the cat-eared people can deal with these poisonous insects? Qin Yun asked. We can't, let alone them. Taiyin doubtfully said, Boss, there are not many insect eggs, but there are many 9th-level Divine Space Realm cat-eared people. Is it enough? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.